Welcome, welcome. This is Space Windu channel. I'm Anthony, Space Windu. We are going to talk about the Book of Boba Fett. While I draw some Star Wars images, I'm drawing a picture for Jedi Arms Dealer regarding some old Mandalorians. So it's kind of suited to today's discussion of The Mandalorian, Boba Fett. I just watched episode 6 of Boba Fett. I've got Jedi Arms Dealer here. I've got Jedi Harris. I've got Robert Sotomayor here, and we're going to talk about Book of Boba Fett. So let's get started. I just watched the episode. It was awesome. It was a bit unexpected. I'm going to see what these other guys think of episode 6 and also all the other episodes of Boba Fett. I haven't really discussed them yet, so let's get it started. I got to put on my headphones. Give me 1 second.
Which on your Star Wars lightsabers? Where's your lightning? Go! I got it! Me too! Zap, zap, zap!
What is going on?
What's up, guys?
Yo.
What's up, guys?
Hope you're all doing well tonight and have seen Boba Fett, because we're going to talk about all the stuff that happened through episode 6. So don't be spoiled. If you haven't seen it yet, I was spoiled a little bit before watching tonight. I went on YouTube like right before watching and scrolled down my subscription feed, and I saw a spoiler. I saw a thumbnail of like the end of the episode. So that was kind of wrong, I thought. I don't think you should have spoilers on the video thumbnail when the episode had just aired. So I just want to give those warnings to people. Don't listen to this if you haven't seen episode 6. There's like crazy stuff to talk about, and you don't want to be spoiled for it.
Grrr, spoilers. What's up, Robert? Good to see you in here.
Hey, what's going on? Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, good to see you, buddy.
How's my audio? Just want to make sure you guys are not getting some bad feedback or anything like that, because I'm not wearing headphones.
Sounds perfect.
It sounds clean on my end. What's up, Jedi Hash?
Yo. What's up, guys?
Jedi Gabe is in the house. Gabe,
Gabe's
if you're
in here.
available and want to come in here, let me know. I'll email you. I'll email you the link there. Just let me know. So I just watched, and I was surprised by last week's episode, where it actually turned out to be, instead of like a crossover, it turned out to be a takeover. It was a Mandalorian takeover of the Boba Fett episode. But it's almost like, how could you complain when you are handed something better than you thought you were going to get? And the same thing kind of happened this time. Although we did see Boba Fett a little bit. I don't think he said anything, though, in this episode. But we did see him a little bit. Yeah. Whereas, like, in the previous episode, I thought if they were going to insert him at all, it maybe would have been when the Naboo starfighter was, like, flying over. And maybe he would look up or something, but not even that happened, right? The Naboo starfighter was flying all around Tatooine. We didn't see Boba Fett at all even look up or anything. It was like Fennec Shan was the only one of his group that said anything in last week's episode, and she did all the talking in this episode for him as well. With only one more. Yeah, like with one more episode left to go in this, do you guys think that it's going to be another takeover, or do you think it's going to be more of a crossover?
Who wants to start first? I personally think it's going to be a mix of both, because I just don't see them doing Boba that dirty to where they completely just, all right, you're non-existent now. These people are going to take over your show, even though the ending has to do with you and you taking over your territory. So I do see the I don't see Ahsoka coming back. I don't see Luke coming back. I'll see Mando, and I don't think what's his name? The guy that took Boba's armor and give it back to Mando. I forgot his name.
The Marshal.
Yeah, the Marshal. I do see him coming back.
Cobb Vanth.
There you go, Cobb Van. Thank you.
Oh,
I
yeah.
appreciate that. I'm
That was a
horrible with names,
shocker.
and I forget them all the time. So,
Me too.
so please forgive me. But yeah, I do see. Obviously, the whole story is based on now that we know are the Spice Runners and them having going to war. So I do see them going to war, but how that turns out, who knows?
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's going to be like another Spider-Man where they pull out all the stops and all the characters, and it's just going to be like the grand explosion finale.
Yeah,
We'll see.
It kind of seems like they're pulling in a lot of like Clone Wars stuff, right?
Yeah.
Cad Bane shows
Totally.
up in this
Yeah.
episode.
I've been trying to go
and-
back and watch some Clone Wars to catch up a little bit. It's been a while since I've watched it. It's all not fresh in here no more.
Yeah, I had to call up and remember a bunch about the Ahsoka story because I think it really connects. Like when you think about how Ahsoka was kind of booted from the academy, and you kind of think about how she was even there. Like when you think about Grogu kind of being somebody older than Luke and somebody who's been around, Ahsoka's been around that same amount of time, like maybe even a little longer. I don't know, her age exactly, like how they age, but we know that Grogu ages super slowly. Luke even mentions that in this episode that a lifetime for a person is going to be just a short time in Grogu's lifetime, so he's going to have to make some adjustments when he's choosing at the very end of the episode. And do you guys think like that choice is going to take us, like, let's say months to see because we might have to wait till the Mandalorian, or do you think it's going to be like present in the next episode of Boba Fett, which seemed to be more of a Mandalorian show anyway? So I don't know if they're going to continue that in the next one, but I think it's a little bit, wouldn't it be a little bit cruel? I don't know when the Mandalorian's coming out, but if we had to wait 3 or 6
I heard
months,
Christmas
see,
time.
oh,
end of
even
the year.
longer, even longer to see
a whole
that
year.
choice. So I don't know, if that is going to happen. Mundo is here. What's up, gents? He says, "Happy birthday, Mundo." It's Mundo's birthday today.
That's right. Happy birthday,
Solo
Mundo.
Sabers is here. What's going on, Jeremy? What's up?
What's up, Jeremy?
Thanks for being here tonight. I hope you saw. I hope you guys both saw the episode of The Mandalorian. We're kind of giving some stuff away in this talk. Love Luke training, says Mundo. Yeah, that was a callback to Empire Strikes Back, I think. And
yeah, it was
to kind.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
To kind of think that, Grogu was this, the same species as Yoda and was probably training or knew Yoda, because you see him in that one spectacular scene of that flashback of them defending the youngling Grogu, right? And so it's assumed, I guess, because we saw episode 2 and we saw how Obi-Wan disturbed the class that Yoda was teaching. So I would assume that the Grand Master of the Jedi there would have been present, in some form or another, like known to all the students. So he probably has some knowledge of Yoda in the first place when Luke is describing who he's describing. But this is kind of crazy. Do you think do you think he smells it, or do you think he would be scared to know who Luke really is? Do you think he knows like this is the son of that motherfucker who came in to kill everybody? I wonder what would happen if he knew, or does he smell that? Does he know that? Does he know because of the last, or I don't know, because he was there.
And will that affect his decision on which choice, saber or chain link fence?
I wonder
don't
why
know
it has to
saber.
be a choice.
Yeah. So regarding that, when I saw last week's episode, where it's pretty much Mandalorian season 3, episode 1, I told myself there's no way that they're going to continue this and show Grogu, but they did. I didn't think they were going to follow through. I thought they were going to say, okay, here's a teaser, and we're going to continue with Boba, which they didn't. And then they showed this week's episode, and I was shocked to see Grogu and Luke and going through their training, which I loved, by the way.
I got a question for you guys. if you guys just watched it, the scene where Luke has his hand on Grogu's head, and he's like flashing back to the Jedi Temple in his earlier training, and there were the 3 Jedi facing the stormtroopers or the clone troopers. You guys with me so far?
Yeah.
Yep.
It was hard to tell who the Jedi were. There were 3 Jedi, but I think I kind of noticed from the back, the middle one was Jocasta Nu, who I thought was the librarian. Correct me if
Really?
I'm wrong, but it looked like her from the back. I could be wrong.
With the ponytail?
Kind of had a ponytail and grayish hair. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Looked like Jocasta. Like I was trying, like this is how my mind works. Like I'm wondering who those Jedi were that were defending him as those clone troopers were coming at him. And it kind of took me to the fact I think her name was Jocasta Nu. She was the librarian
Yeah, that's like the
in a couple different episodes. She was in Clone Wars. I think she was in one of the prequel movies where Obi-Wan is looking for the planet in that little globe thing, and she's talking to him. So I just wanted to know. I wanted what you guys thought of that, if that was her or not.
Okay.
I don't know. Like I kind of took them as all male. I don't know. I don't know if one of them was her.
You look like
They
her.
were
Look like a
moving
female
pretty-
from the back with a ponytail.
Oh yeah,
An
they were
elderly
moving
female.
pretty like agilely, but I guess they all could move very agile because of the Force.
Yeah, and is that the scene you just put up?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a photo.
That's the scene right there. It's hard to tell because I'm on my phone. It's very, very small. Yeah, I think she was the middle Jedi.
And that's one of the big fan theories, right? Is that she was the one that saved Grogu?
Oh, I didn't hear that. But that would
Yeah.
be cool. I didn't hear that.
That's been circling around. She's the one that went up
Felicia
there and
is here.
scooped him up. Hey, Felicia.
Happy birthday, Mundo. Chet Osborne is here. Hey, everyone. What's going on, Chet? Hope you're doing well tonight. Hope you saw the episode. It was kind of crazy. It was kind of crazy, kind of like last week. It was a Mandalorian takeover of the Boba Fett show. Had to come on here and talk about it with all of our Saber friends and see what y'all think. I just thought it was kind of crazy that in the expanded universe storylines, and I don't know how familiar you guys are with the expanded universe, but Luke has some different ideas about what the Jedi are going to do going forward, because kind of like in episode 8, how he reflects on the mistakes of the past Jedi, and in the expanded universe books where he starts training Jedi basically immediately. So it's a little bit different from this, which is 5 years later after Return of the Jedi. In the books, it kind of happens, I think, a little bit quicker. Maybe it's about 5 years when the Thrawn trilogy happens and he kind of takes on Mara Jade. I don't remember. It's been a while since I read the books, but he does change his ideals for the Jedi and what they're like about, like what the rules are. Whereas in this Boba Fett episode, it seemed like we're still playing by the old Jedi rules.
It's Luke's rules now, right?
Well, it should be,
Luke's
right?
making the rules.
It's like this. Now, this could be a test. So I'm kind of fast forwarding now to the end of the episode, and we're talking about the choice here between going back to the Mandalorian or staying and training as a Jedi. And I have a couple different ideas of like what could be happening here. Is this like a test for Grogu? And if he chooses, like one of my ideas is if he chooses the lightsaber, Yoda's old lightsaber, that eventually, like let's say there's a calamity down the road or something that him and Luke have to go do together. Maybe at that point, a year after choosing the Jedi or 6 months later, or who knows how long later, Luke might say, hey, why don't you wear this armor because this could help us. This is this dangerous place we're going or whatever. Now, if he chooses the armor now, he, I guess, will be sent back to the Mandalorian immediately and there will be no lightsaber. I'm also just not sure, like, you know, because in the expanded universe, people were the Jedi were allowed to get married, they were allowed to have kids and stuff like that. Whereas playing by the old rules, we couldn't do that. And this scene kind of seems like maybe are we playing by the old rules where like there's no attachment, and like how are you guys seeing that? Because I also think there could be a higher level to it that like maybe I'm not Jedi material, so I can't really grasp the point there, you know, like because it seems almost cruel if Luke had touched Grogu's head like he did in the episode and gained that knowledge. Maybe he saw some of the tortures that Grogu went through in The Mandalorian, you know, that were shown in The Mandalorian, but was actually the past, you know, the Empire poking at him and experimenting on him for more than 10 years or whatever it was. I just think it's a little bit cruel to be doing this now, but what do you guys think?
What do you mean? Like it's cruel to make him choose one or the other type of
Yes,
thing?
yes,
Yeah.
because the way I kind of would have done it, but like I said, I want to preface this by saying maybe I'm not the higher thinking Jedi that Luke is, where he's got it all worked out. But the way I would have maybe wrote the episode is like Luke thinks of this challenge first, but then touches Grogu's head, gains the knowledge that this little guy's been through a lot, and decides not to maybe go down that road of like the old way of training or that way, you know.
Well, I think Luke is trying to save him from, you know, we've seen it happen multiple times, the whole attachment thing, you know, how Anakin was attached to Padme, you know, it pulled him down the path of the dark side. I mean, you know, obviously I think Luke could absolutely hold on to the chainmail armor and give it to him down the road. Who knows if it'll fit him at that point? He might grow bigger and it won't fit him.
I thought about that. So I was like, that's not going to last him. He's going to outgrow it.
Yeah.
Go for the saber, kid.
He'll have to go back to the armor and have it remade. But yeah, I mean, I definitely think that, I mean, look, if I was Grogu, of course I would take the lightsaber, go down that path. You can always get the chainmail later. And that's where the story would go. I guess if he left and went back to Din Djarin, you know, I guess maybe the story would be over at that point, right? Or would they, you know, because the two of them would ride off into the sunset together. I don't know, but I think choose the lightsaber. That's what I would want him to see him do. You know,
I think so. All of us want him to choose the lightsaber.
Yeah.
The way I see it now, I'm looking at it from two points of view. So the first point of view is, we want him to get the lightsaber and continue his training. But on that note, with the movies that have come out and the storyline that's already been established, he's not in it. There's no mention of him whatsoever. So now I'm thinking, okay, and I thought about this. All right, so now the second option would be continue his training, but then somehow still maintain that contact with the Mandalorians, and with Din Djarin, he can reconnect with him and somehow become a Mandalorian himself with force sensitive skills and training, and maybe he can end up wielding the dark saber.
Which is
just something I thought
hinted
about.
at. That's
a thought.
I like it.
It was sort of hinted before in the previous episode that there, well, it wasn't hinted. It was discussed by the armorer that there was a Jedi / Mandalorian at some point in the past who had created the Darksaber and was wielding the Darksaber. And what I thought they were kind of saying in that episode was that she was a descendant of them, because what she was doing was out of this world, and she had survived like an attack, because she had said in the previous episode, she goes, there was a Mandalorian Jedi who could take out like a bunch of people at once, a whole platoon of people, stormtroopers, and she herself did that, obviously, because she survived. If you remember the previous time we saw her, she was being attacked by 20 or 30 stormtroopers, and now she's alive. She's got all her limbs, so she obviously can't deal with that. So I was thinking, and she also had all the answers when it came to the Darksaber, right? She was telling him all the ins and outs, why he can and can't utilize it properly, and stuff like that. But you also have to think, like Rob is saying, that maybe it's Grogu that is this combination. But when Luke first presented the choice, I my first thought was, and it kind of seemed logical, which is like, you know, in life, sometimes you do got to pick one or the other. Like you can't be both. But it's strange that we do have that example from the previous episode that, oh, well, you can be both. So I don't know if Luke knows that. Is he privy to that story that the armor was telling? Probably not. Does he know about that ancient Mandalorian who was also Jedi? I don't know. I doubt it, because like she was telling Din Djarin and not Luke. But it's like, you know, maybe it's just that missing part of Luke's knowledge that doesn't allow him to see that Grogu can be both, or maybe it's like maybe he can't be both. I don't know.
I think he was just testing him. I think whatever he chooses, he's still going to continue to train him, is the way I see it.
You think he's going to stay with Luke, in other words?
Yeah, I still see him staying with Luke. I still see him going through the training. Depending on how the Mandalorian progresses in their seasons, if they continue to do them.
Yeah, we only have one episode left, you know?
I'm
It's
sorry?
a lot to do in one episode. It's only an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I think-
I mean, in the Mandalorian story, seasons, not Book of Boba. I'm saying, like, so, because obviously Grogu is attached to Din Djarin, and they have that connection. But Luke is like, okay, he's giving them the choice. Do you want to go with Din, or do you want to stay and finish your training? And I think he's going to stay and finish his training, but then eventually go and seek out Din Djarin.
But I thought it was interesting where Luke says, I'm not so sure his heart's into it. And so that makes me think that Luke is questioning what Grogu wants to do. And I agree with you. I think he is testing him because he wants to find out what Grogu really wants.
Yeah.
Go for the lightsaber, man. Go for the lightsaber.
Yeah, he's going to outgrow that chainmail real quick. Stick with the lightsaber.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid's
You know what
50
I was
years old,
thinking
so he should know.
In my head, I was thinking he was going to give him something. Like before we saw it was the little outfit and chainmail. I thought like he was going to hand him something and he was going to use the Force to, like, I don't know, manipulate this chainmail into something. That's what I kind of thought.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Now
I can't believe they pulled out Yoda's saber. Sorry. Oh my god.
Yeah,
that was mind blowing, right?
That was
definitely
That was
mind-blowing.
crazy.
I mean, this scene got me too. This scene happened kind of early. This scene with the Jedi from the Temple Order 66 attack, and this was just a Star Wars explosion in my head. That was like, this was crazy. And I know it was only a couple seconds, but to guys like us, I mean, isn't this just like crazy? I mean, people
Candy.
Like we see from the back, one of the guys looks like Qui-Gon. Somebody, you know, the other guys look pretty sweet, and we probably know that. I mean, they were taken by surprise. I don't know if on a different day could they have handled this, or if they knew or something. I guess the one thing I don't like about it is that, I mean, it has to end a certain way, right? They have to be. It's Order 66. They're going down, but it's just it reminds me of that scene from Episode 3 of Jet Lucas on the skywalk where he's taken out a couple troopers, but in the end he gets shot.
Yeah,
and that's what this kind of reminds me.
Was that the
of,
young kid, the teenage kid?
Yeah, it was like played by George Lucas's son. And, you know,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that was
kind
his
of
son.
Slammed around by laser bolts and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys knew, but Yoda's lightsaber was actually destroyed in the Vader comic books, from what I recall.
Oh.
No, I didn't know that.
really?
Yeah, his lightsaber was, and they even showed his lightsaber, and they showed him tossing it and being destroyed in like this big pile of lightsaber, and they just burn them all up, and it just flames and explodes.
Yeah, I mean, when Luke pulled it out of the box, I thought to myself, it kind of flashed back in my head that Yoda died in the little hut on Dagobah, and Luke was there when he died. So just like Luke was left all of Obi-Wan's possessions and what was left in Obi-Wan's hut, Luke took over what was left in Yoda's hut and found the saber there. That's kind of what I was thinking.
But I think dropped it like on the way out when he was fighting Palpatine, when he was fighting the Emperor at that late stage in episode 3.
Yeah.
And
Oh, you
That's
think you
right.
lost it right then and there?
yeah,
But they-
from
That's
the expanded
right.
universe, like what went through my head, because I read a lot of the expanded universe books, so I'm putting together kind of a different picture, like based on that stuff. And what happens there is Luke kind of takes stuff away from, like Palpatine has a storage unit, let's say, and he's got all this like Jedi stuff in there that he's collected, you know, people that Anakin's killed and stuff like that. So he has stuff like Yoda's lightsaber maybe in there, because I think Luke gets back his Graflex from there in the books. I think that's what happened. And he even gets back I don't know if he gets the hand part back, because I think they use that to clone Luke in the book. But you know, it seems like they're going down a different path.
Well, I mean,
now
it's
are
in
they-
a different
are they-
situation. And Luke got his saber back from what's her name, the chick from Rey, right? In the movies.
Well, I think there's different paths that the storylines take. So there's the path of after Return of the Jedi, you can go down the expanded universe book path, and that's a different road. Or you could go down the like Force Awakens path, and you know, the Last Jedi, which is a different road. Now, is the hut that they built in this episode that those robots were building, was that the hut from the Last Jedi?
Yeah, I
From
was
my
thinking that
understanding,
too.
yeah.
It looks like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the robots were building it.
So is that the hut that like Rey kind of blows the roof off of, or whatever?
No, the one she blew off of was on the island. The training center is the one that Kylo
burned
destroyed.
up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, the
gotcha.
scene where Luke is got his arm on R2 and he's crying, and that's that temple, right?
Yeah. That's what I was thinking from the trailer, from the Last Jedi trailer.
Yeah. You guys know he actually cried during the filming of that, like legit, right?
No, I didn't
Well,
know that.
I'm sure he would after he read the script.
Yeah, he said it was super emotional, like being there with R2 and he's got his arm on him, and yeah, he said he actually cried. I thought that was
Did
pretty
not
Chad
know
cool.
that.
Osborne says he says, I'm overthinking, but I think that Luke not having Grogu a choice, but is asking him if he wants to train him in the traditional way or in a new Jedi way with attachments. Yeah,
One way
maybe
to
this
look
is
at
like it being like the new way being born, or are we seeing that being born right now? Chet thinks maybe. Mark Fiala is here. What's going on, buddy? He says, hey,
What's up, Mark?
going on?
Yo.
Hope you're enjoying this Mandalorian / Boba Fett episode that we got. It's pretty crazy. I think any lightsaber and Star Wars fans gonna like these episodes. Mundo says you have to remember that Luke stopped his training to save his friends, then came back to Yoda. Yeah,
But
Mundo,
Yoda
that's
told
a-
him his training was done.
because you know what, this episode seemed to echo in some certain ways to Empire Strikes Back. For instance, Luke jumping around with baby Grogu on his back is similar to him training in ESB with Yoda on his back. And there were certain things like the symbolism with the rocks being moved. At first, I thought, are the rocks being moved over there so Grogu and Luke
Yeah, that's what I thought.
start moving them around and tossing them around?
Yeah.
What'd you guys think of the first lesson he taught him, where he's kind of going after the frog, and he forego the frog, and then Luke tried to show him, like if you use the Force, you can have all the frogs. They're all floating above the bog.
All the frogs. Yeah.
That whole training scene was definitely a huge callback to Empire Strikes Back, and everything that Yoda instilled and trained into Luke pretty much just reversed it and did it to Grogu, which I thought was pretty awesome.
Yeah,
Which
definitely.
I think that this choice is Grogu's cave scene. Because I think like the cave scene in Empire Strikes Back is like Luke having to go in and face himself, like face his fears. And the fear that Grogu may be developing, which is what Ahsoka is sort of hinting at. She's like, this kid's got a lot of attachment to the Mandalorian. It's actually problematic. Now, keep in mind that she's from the old school. So I'm not sure how much we should be like listening to her, but at the same time, she's been expelled from the old school. So maybe she is thinking differently. Maybe she is sort of the voice of reason. Luke does seem to be wanting to go to her to ask her for advice a lot. So
she did say you're just like your father.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which do you think was a positive or negative? Because I couldn't figure out when I watched it. Was that
I thought
positive?
it was cool that she said that, like, because, you know, Luke didn't know his father. She did, you know, and I think in her own way, she was trying to say, you know, look, you're much like your father would do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
I
his father
didn't take
trained
that.
her.
Yeah, that definitely was not in a negative sense.
Right.
That was definitely a positive.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, I mean, he
Agreed.
trained her too, you know. In fact, she was his only Padawan, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That's true. Nothing but positive memories there, I would think.
I could have sworn I saw. I'll pull up a picture. I could have sworn I saw, like, you know, the Luke character in the show is heavily CGI'd, and I could have sworn I saw like Hayden Christensen a little bit in there, like they're overlaying a little bit of the eye feature or something. Like it looks
making him look like his father.
When Luke is
Yeah,
looking.
there were a couple frames that when you're watching it, like, wait, that doesn't look like Luke. Oh, but then now it is Luke. So I see what you're saying.
I feel like they did a better job on this episode than they did in the final episode of The Mandalorian, though, with his face.
Absolutely, without a
Do
question.
you guys
They-
know?
yeah,
They stepped it up.
Is that actually
did.
Mark Hamill in that scene? And they just kind of
It said Mark Hamill at the end. I don't know if that's just his voice or if
Yeah,
he's
it's
actually
probably
the
voiceover.
body of this
Yeah.
person as well. I'm not sure.
It's the voiceover
Yeah,
for
I'm not
sure,
sure either.
but
Yeah, it's the voice,
I don't
and
know
is
about
it
the rest.
also? Could
I've
it
heard a
be
few
the,
times that Sebastian Stan is trying to play young Luke. I don't know if
Yeah.
you guys heard that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
it's been all over
It-
the internet for so many years, like that side-by-side picture that they'd be so stupid not to, especially since he's under contract with their studio. But I don't know. I don't know if like they actually, you know, smartened up with that. Mark says, do you guys notice the grips on Yoda's saber were silver and not black? I thought I saw
did
them
not.
as black, but
Yeah, I thought I saw them
he
a
said
little
maybe
black
worn
too.
down.
Maybe it might have
Yeah.
been the lighting reflecting, might have kind of made
Or
it
I
look
would
flat.
assume being like however many years old that saber is and like 20, 30, 35 years removed from Yoda's grip or longer, right? 50 years, whatever it is. 30 years, I don't know. But I guess it's been, you know, in a container or something, been like beaten around.
I didn't notice. I was drooling too much.
Yeah, it was such an intense
You were over Yoda's saber. You were drooling.
Yeah. Oh my god.
it was a saber-gasm the whole way through last week and this week.
Yeah.
Mark says Luke definitely had attachments to a lot of people, so it doesn't make sense to have Grogu choose. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I thought it was severely cruel, and I'm still not sure what to think about it because I guess we don't know the ending or the choice. What that leads to? Could it be like Rob said, a test, or is it something more?
How about a throwback to Obi-Wan and what's her name? Satine Shan? I forget what her name was.
Yeah,
He
I
had
kind
a
of
romance with her in the Clone Wars.
Couple. Yeah.
Yeah, I started to understand, I guess, through the Clone Wars and that whole like romance that perhaps is it the attachment part that seems to be the problem, and like they can just fuck and it's fine. It's not like just don't fall in love. Like don't fall in love and want to like get married and stuff. That's the problem. But I just don't think Luke should like continue those rules because like I said in the EU books and the expanded universe books, he let his apprentices and stuff marry, and like great Jedis came out of those families. So you know, the book spanned like 40 or 50 years after Return of the Jedi. So you really get to see like the whole span of time and how like certain families, like the Horns, like you have Karan Horn, and he got married and had kids, and the kids turned out to be great Jedi too. And
Did Luke marry Mara Jade?
Luke married Mara Jade, and they turned out to have like a really powerful son, Ben.
We don't know if that's
you
going to
have-
happen in this storyline.
Right. And also because we don't know if is there two storylines or is there three? Is there two roads or is there three? Meaning, is there the road of the old style road of you have all the movies and then you have the expanded universe books, which they say are canceled, right? So that's one road. You have the second road, which is you have all the movies and then you go into the Rey and Force Awakens and The Last Jedi and the ninth movie. Or is this that we're in right now, which is a Boba Fett Mandalorian showing Luke and showing Grogu and showing the Jedi starting to grow again? Is this a third path that is not leading to Episode 8, but seeing that hut in this episode like tells me that this is probably on the second road, meaning the road that leads to Rey and the road that leads to The Last Jedi? Or do you think they're breaking formation and going like a third direction?
I think they're going to stick to the Disney story, you know?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. We all know how Disney is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. House of the Mouse.
I mean, I'm sure, as you can see, as we're actually seeing now, they're implementing different characters that have already been established and are well known. So I do see them doing that. Now, as far as being able to canonize other characters, I don't see why they couldn't do that. That would be pretty cool.
New ones like the sheriff and those type of people.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, will we see a sheriff figure?
Like even like in the so you're talking about the expanded universe, the books. You know, there's also the comic books and the video games. It'd be pretty cool to see them bring some of those characters in as well, like Revan and stuff. I know this is a different timeline, but you know, just as an example.
Do you think that the Marshal survives that wound?
I do.
Yeah, he got hit in the shoulder. He got hit like right here, upper shoulder.
Yeah,
like,
I think he'll be back.
I saw it.
But on the same token, that's why we got the expendable deputy guy. You know,
he also he was done.
Like the Weequay guy.
Yeah, he took 3 hits, if I'm not mistaken.
Like the guy who was the bartender who had the great voice, the Weequay alien. He maybe could, if the Marshal's dead or if he's not dead, the Weequay bartender could take up the mantle of like leading that battalion, because he gave a look at the end like he was pissed.
Well, so at first, if you realize, he's working behind the bar. He didn't want any parts of that whole thing.
Right.
But then, I mean, no sooner does Mando take off in his Naboo starfighter that we see Cad Bane walk up and throw a monkey wrench into the works, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that was the turning point for that character right there. That was where he's going to say, all right, now, you know what? We got to kick some ass now, you know?
I think so.
Yeah.
He sounded tough. When he was talking, he sounded tough.
Yeah.
And we've seen him before, right? He survived a couple like bar brawls. I never noticed before. I don't know if it was the angle that they shot tonight, but tonight I noticed that whole bar is made up of like, it's a rib cage of a.
Yep, I noticed that the bones going across.
Yeah, I wonder if
that the dragon, the crate dragon.
Is it the dragon?
Right?
Like, is that a new bar, or they
new.
put that in the old bar? Is that like a new bar?
The bar itself was made up of sections of the Krayt dragon.
No, it wasn't made up. They had decoration in the ceiling that was just kind of coming over.
I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that. I didn't notice that.
Well, I actually like the Jawas had his head mounted on the.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
that was cool. I did notice that.
So maybe the sheriff got to keep the rib cage, and
could be.
And the Jawas, they made a deal.
You think we'll see the pearl again?
The what?
The pearl, the Krayt pearl that comes out of the dragon. Yeah. They say it has powers like a lightsaber crystal.
Yeah, maybe.
The what's it called? The sand guy was holding it up.
Yeah. I mean, they probably use that for, I don't know what, like sold it, or how could they use that? Like they would sell it for like whatever they need, I guess, like for lifetimes and lifetimes of riches.
Well,
I would imagine.
they say it's very valuable. I did some reading on it.
Now, this on the screen here is the clue that I think that Grogu chooses to go with the Mandalorian. And one of the things that points me in that direction is one of you guys said, I think Rob said it earlier, that
the droid pod.
Yep,
that's
it right there.
The back section?
Right.
I didn't even think about that space.
They have a space for Grogu, so it's almost like, and they made a point of saying that, like, oh, we took out the astromech pod and now there's a spare pod or something. So I'm thinking, like,
that's a perfect spot for Grogu.
Grogu will be in there.
Wow.
That could be there just to throw us off.
It could be, but it's also like there's an old rule for like shows and plays, which is it's called Chekhov's gun, right? Like you don't put a gun on the wall unless you plan to use it. So I'm thinking maybe that's something. And also, you know, I know when you guys said earlier about Empire Strikes Back, how Luke went away from his training to go help his friends. So maybe could there be a clue that Grogu gets, or a feeling that maybe the Mandalorian needs help, or maybe that's why he kind of leaves? Or
how about if not only Grogu comes back to help the whole situation, but maybe Luke goes with him and comes back to help Boba Fett? You know, wouldn't that be cool? Because last time we saw Luke and Boba Fett on screen together, they were enemies, you know? But the way I'm looking at it is, you know, the House of Mouse is trying to take this character of Boba Fett that had very little screen time and give him this whole expanded world. You know, maybe they're trying to make Boba Fett and Luke come together.
Originally, I thought when Mando was going to the place where Grogu and Luke were, the way they seemed to be setting it up in the last episode was that Mandalorian needs some lightsaber training. Who better? He had the two best people on that fucking planet, and he did not ask them. Like, what I thought was going to happen was, you know, he's going to go give Grogu this armor, be able to say hello, and also say, hey, can you give me some pointers with this fucking darksaber so I don't chop my leg off like I almost did last time?
Right.
Because what I thought was going to happen last time was, and this is another missed opportunity, I think, for the show, was that they're melting down the spear. And I thought logically, like, she saw it without even looking. The armor was facing one way, the armorer, and she knew that the Mandalorian was standing behind her. This is in the previous episode. And she says, like, what did that to your leg? You know, where'd you get that injury or whatever? So he says, oh, it's this dark saber. Then she turns around. So she even senses the wound first, but when she melts down the spear, she does not provide him with a side leg armor piece to stop this shit from happening again, or to stop him from hitting himself again. So, you know, that chain link armor for Grogu was just a small handful of the spear's weight. And
remember,
I assume
something, when you put your hand in the fire, you learn a lesson. You don't put your hand back in the fire. So after he hurt himself, I think he's going to be a little more careful now with that darksaber.
I mean, it seemed to be hard as hell to wield, you know, and I was looking at some videos on YouTube about it, and they were saying that, you know, it's just like they were saying in the show, how it's like the armor was telling Mandalorian that he has to work with it and not against it and stuff. So who better to really show the Mandalorian a couple tips on the darksaber than Luke Skywalker? Or for that matter, Ahsoka. You know, he could say, listen, you know, I almost like cut my leg off last time. Can you give me a couple tips? Or I know I'm not force sensitive, or I'm probably not, but maybe you got a couple tips for somebody since you've been a Jedi for 50 years.
So here's a question I didn't notice. When he was in those scenes with Ahsoka in tonight's episode, did he have the darksaber with him or no?
I think he always has it, right? I noticed he
don't
didn't
you
have
think she would have seen it and noticed it?
I don't know.
If he had it with him, don't you think? Because last time that they met, that he didn't have the darksaber yet.
No.
And I don't think he called her up and yo, Ahsoka, guess what I got now, you know?
Okay, so maybe he's not bringing it up for like he thinks that they might confiscate it. You're thinking
I mean,
if they
how
know
about
about it, they will confiscate it.
how about this? How about in the last episode, both Grogu and Luke come and save the day, and Din Djarin passes the Darksaber to Luke and says, "Use this to help us out." I mean, I don't know. I'm just grasping at straws, I guess.
I was kind of hoping that within the wrappings of the choice, let's say we're going to present the choice once again in a different way.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the choice being the Darksaber or Yoda's saber? You pick the Darksaber.
I would take the Darksaber easy.
Mandalorian. You pick the Yoda saber. You're going to walk the path of a Jedi. It seems like they were pointing all episode last week to the fact that, you know, it's got to be this harmony, or it's got to be this force wielder that is going to utilize the Darksaber. So I don't know. I kind of thought that was more logical to say, hey, and especially since we saw Mando almost like, you know, like, or really hurt himself with it. Wouldn't it be better in the hands of a force user, and maybe it would work well with Grogu? I'm not sure. I was one ahead.
You got to remember that he can't just hand the saber over. Like, you got to win it in battle.
That's what I was thinking. Tradition.
Yeah, he can't He can't just give it up and like, all right, here, you take it, because he tried to do that with what's her name? I can't think of her name either.
Bo-Katan?
Bo-Katan, yeah.
Yes, with Bo-Katan. Yeah. And Bo-Katan was like, I want to take it, but she was like,
she knew she couldn't.
For it.
Right.
Wasn't it touched upon that if she had the Darksaber in the past, and it caused them the Night of 1,000 Tears because she didn't win it properly?
Yep.
So it sent the Mandalorians down a dark path.
Yep, that's true.
Didn't I kind of hear some of that touch base on?
Yeah, the armor did touch over that in the last episode and explained that whole.
So she knew this time. She knew she couldn't take it again. You know, even though she wanted to win it herself from the Moff dude. What's his name? I forget his name.
Moff Gideon.
Yeah, Mark Gideon. She wanted to win it herself. Like, remember the shock in her face when he shows up in the control room, and she's like, "How'd you get that?" You know.
I think so. Somebody, I was watching some review videos, and somebody mentioned that Din Djarin actually might be force sensitive. He just doesn't know it because of the fact that he's been able to survive all these like crazy battles and scenes, and even when he was going after Moth, and he was like hanging onto his aircraft, and like didn't die from that. So they're pointing out that he might have some force sensitive in him. He just doesn't know it and might learn.
Could be.
That's a theory out there, which would definitely allow him to better wield and keep the Darksaber and, you know, use it to its full potential.
Why do you guys think it's so heavy?
I don't think it's heavy. I think it portrays that to you know, somebody who doesn't have that capability of wielding it, you know. I think
it's familiarity.
They're trying,
you know.
I think they're trying to like maybe instill like the old I don't know if you guys ever done martial arts or any type of fighting, but the path of least resistance is the path you want to choose. If you fight it, or if you try to fight it, you know, it's like a current of water. If you try to fight the current, it's going to take you either way, and it's going to wear you down. But if you go with the flow and you learn to navigate it, it'll be much easier to wield. Is pretty much I think what they're trying to say.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, the Lore Star video I saw today said that same thing that Robert is describing has been happening to this Darksaber for like 1,000 years. So it's like severely pissed off. It's like severely unbalanced, you know. They're saying someone's got to pick it up that can put some balance back into it or whatever.
It's been handed to so many different people at this point. It's pissed off. That makes sense.
Anthony, is that your artwork you're working on?
Yeah, this is actually a picture for Jedi Arms Dealer here. It's of a saber he made. So this is Illumos, which is a saber that he made, and it's in the hands of this alien who's being attacked by a bunch of Mandalorians. So I thought it was
Very cool.
kind of proper to maybe be drawing this, coloring this in tonight while we.
Oh, I've seen that. That's the clear saber, right?
Yeah.
That's that clear saber. I've seen that. I've seen that online before on a couple of the saber pages. Very cool.
Yeah, maybe you guys can help us name him, because all I've been able to come up with is a joke. We call him Jedi Wampas.
He's gonna have a green saber. Like the saber blade's not in there yet, but it's gonna be like right about there coming out the emitter of the saber crystal. Like the entire saber is a crystal. That's Illumos right there. And so there's going to be this blade. I think it's in this picture. It's going to be a green blade, but the way Jedi Arms Dealer has it set up is it could be any color. So like he's got what do you have, a Profi in there, and you have like color change. It does all the tricks.
Yeah, it's one of the first Profi 1.5 runs.
Very cool.
But this is what it looks like without the chassis inside.
That's nice. That's
just
really cool.
Empty, totally empty. Acrylic and like crafters epoxy filled in between the spaces, and so pop the end off. It's got two different pommels. One is vented, and this one's solid to make it look like an actual crystal. This one just press fits in for decoration.
That is so crazy.
Thanks, guys. And then this is the blade plug, and it has a pixel strip in it.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
With the connector, so that lights up. And then you guys hopefully you've seen the chassis.
Hey, Anthony, I need more of those pixel connectors, by the way.
Okay,
very cool.
I got it. I got to get you some. I got a bunch here. I could send them to you. I don't know if on the website if I have the stock available or not, but I do have them.
Thanks.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
So I didn't know if you wanted it in or out of the hilt. But here she is, all lit up.
Wow, that's fancy, yo. Really nice.
Look at that moving crystal chamber, Harris.
Amazing.
It's got two neopixel rings in the end of it.
Amazing.
This is where the speaker end. 2 speakers. A lot of fun. Yeah, this was actually going to be
rings.
Yeah, have you seen those, Space, on eBay? They're like they have 8 pixels in a circle. So I faced them opposite directions and just joined the solder joints on the other side. So they're opposing, run in series, so they like alternate flicker.
Nice.
But this is going to be my Vader's Vault entry for the contest back when they were trying to do one, and I guess not enough people entered because everything had to be built from pure scratch. So it was, I guess, yeah.
Amazing.
But I didn't. You want me to put it back in the hilt, Anthony? Because I know you wanted to maybe draw it with the.
It's up to you. Like if it's easy enough.
Oh yeah, it's just press fit.
Mundo says amazing and awesome, and it is.
Thanks, Mundo.
Oh, Mundo says we named him already. In the last video, we named the monster, but he doesn't remember what we said. I forgot too.
We must have been celebrating your birthday last year when we came up with that. All of us had too much whiskey.
Oh wow! Look at this thing.
That is really cool. Fancy. I like it. Very nice.
So my setup here, my computer's not working, and I'm on my phone. So on my phone, I have what we're actually doing right here in front of me, but in the background, I have my 60-inch TV with it. But there's a little bit of a delay. I'm on like a 15-second delay on what's coming up here on the screen. So I'm about 15 seconds behind you. So I'm just seeing you turn that thing on, and man, that is mind blowing, bro. That's
Thanks,
incredible.
Guys. Yeah, I've got it. There's no buttons on the outside of it, and so I have to control it with the Force Sync app. So
wow.
Well, can you do it with with all that gesture stuff that Fett 263?
Yes, that's the next step for sure, Space. I have not programmed it with the gesture stuff yet. Too many Saber projects going on.
Wow.
But Yeah, I want to make it totally gestureless or gesture only. Yeah, because we talked about that with Vet 263, and he added both twist on and twist off. So there, it'll twist off.
Very cool.
I think right now I've got it set to twist off, and there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
And swing on. But this is the older Vet 263 where it almost like that part of it goes to sleep, and then you have to like wake it up again, but you can't do it with a gesture. But the new one you can. So
you know what we should make one time
for that.
We should make the crystal from Superman where it's like Jor-El can talk to Kal-El.
The
like
Fortress of Solitude crystal.
Yeah, Harris,
one.
you know what I'm talking about? It could glow green, and then Jor-El can talk.
Oh, so cool.
Through a little speaker or something. We could get like
Marlon
Brando quotes.
I wanted that crystal so bad when I was a kid. I was like, how can I get one of those?
If you only had that, you have the powers of Superman.
Right.
So cool.
Robert, I got to ask you real quick. Your CDJ or DJ mixer in the background, what brand and model number is that? That's sick. The one with the Vader on it.
Oh, thank you. It's a XDJ XZ is what it is, and it's right here.
Yeah, I played with everything from turntables to those things for 22 years, and I'm big time into it. So, what kind of music do you play on that?
I just do like electro house, funk house, anything house, like tech house as well.
Cool.
So what I'm working on is I'm working on like a set that's about 6 hours long. Whoa. And I'm starting with like, it's all house music, but it starts with like 50 styles, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and so on. So what makes it difficult is finding tracks that are in the 50s and 60s and 70s that are in key. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but mixing songs in key is like super important, because even though the songs have the same BPM, beats per minute, if they're not in the same key, it's not going to sound good. So it's finding those tracks that makes it very difficult. And so I found a few good ones. So I've been able to make two about almost 3 hour sets so far, but I still got a lot of music to go through. So I'm still working on it.
Have you used the program Mix and Key? Not to go off on this tangent too long, because this is a whole other episode we could do on DJ stuff. But have you used the program Mix and Key?
Yeah, I use Mix and Key 10, and I also use Platinum Notes.
Nice.
To kind of like just organize my music, but I don't use Mix and Key for the cues. I do my own cues, because I don't like having a lot of cues that I know I'm not going to use. So I just do my intros, my outros, and my drops. I key those spots, so like that at least I know where I'm going to start, where I'm going to end, where I need to do my drops. So I just keep it really simple. I don't go too crazy on it.
And last question, how did you get the Vader version?
Oh, so the Vader version. So I was looking for different skins, and I was actually going to go with just an all white skin. But then I found this website, and I'll share the name with you when I find it, because I have to look for it. I forgot the name. They do custom skins for you. So all you have to do is drop in your logos or whatever it is you want to add to it. And they give you like this little software where you can do it, and you can preview it, and you just confirm that that's what you want, and they'll print it for you. And it takes a week. It's like super fast. And
they're vinyl. They're like vinyl laydowns, flexible.
So it's more like a big sticker, but it's like heavy duty. It's like a thick sticker is what you're putting on. So yeah.
And so you got your logo Sorok sabers on there and stuff then.
Yes.
Nice. I got to do that.
Oh, dude, it's awesome.
I got to do that for sure.
It. I'll share the link with you. Just remind me so I can pull it up tomorrow.
Cool. Will do. That thing was sweet. I saw that.
What are you playing on?
Well, I still use my old Technics 1200s.
Nice.
But I have the DJ SL 500, because I wanted to be able to fly around with it, and it would fit in a suitcase.
Yes.
It's not my favorite because the pitch controls are super short on it, and I like longer pitch controls. But it does the job. But I bought it for travel.
No, you're better than me, man. I remember trying to learn on the 1200s, and it was difficult. Like it took me a long time to learn how to do it, but I didn't stick with it. So I totally just forgot all about it. And then maybe like I want to say 8 years back is when I started getting back into it. But when I started getting back into it, everything was digital already. Everything was like controllers and the CDJs that are out there now, the 1000s and the 2000s NXX2, and now they have the CDJ 3000, which I'm going to pick up 2 of those, but they're not they're just scarce. You can't find them. So as soon as they come back on, I'll be adding 2 more.
The CDJ separate. Yeah.
I'll be adding them. So because it's a 4-channel mixer, but I'm only using 2 right now. I definitely want to add 1 more, and if I can add the 4th one, that'd be freaking amazing.
Yeah, that's a sweet setup, man. I saw that on Universal Lightsaber Community. Oh snap! Space did it.
Oh, look at that! That is awesome,
dude. It's been a nice journey to this moment.
Well, I still have a bunch of soldiers to do. Wait, I say that again.
I love how that blade tip and where it coming out of the emitter. That is really cool.
Thank you.
What does this thing sound like?
You got to show us. How does it sound?
Yeah. Oh, so it's a little bit of show and tell time, right? Out of your car. That is true. I brought something for show and tell, guys. I just finished it last week.
Oh, the detonator.
So I made a trade with my buddy Don up in LA. He's the master at freaking weathering. And he dipped this thing in acid and like did it legit. And so when it's just chilling like this, it's in deep sleep, right? And it'll stay in deep sleep with a full charge for up to a year. So you can just leave it on the shelf like this. And so, Plector Labs board, of course. And so here we go. I had to do a Mando. Hopefully you guys can hear this. I had to do a Mando font. Ready? So here's the quotes. You guys hear that? Is it going through the microphone?
That looks great. Yeah, it sounds good.
Sick, bro. Sick. Amazing.
And so it wouldn't be a Jedi Arms Dealer install unless it was remote control.
Whoa.
So Mando's got a new toy. Yep. And so here's your remote control. You got to put the antenna up, right? And so we shut it off. And we crack it in half. So Don asked me, he was like, is there any way possible? And he was like, I might be joking, but is there any way possible you can make a remote control? And I was like, give me a couple weeks to have some China stuff show up and let's see what we can do. So turn it on, this top part with the switch off, and then it's remote control. There we go. So A fires it up. And then you hold down B for aux. And then if you hold it down, you can detonate it from afar.
Boom.
Yeah. So
Dude, that is awesome. Very well done.
Speaking of bombs, like what about that that gang that bombed the club tonight is a problem.
Oh yeah, the Pikes.
Agreed.
They are a problem. So hopefully that town comes.
Don't take that thing on an airplane, bro.
Yeah, right.
I had that happen with the Saber. I was crushed. They stopped me and said I had to put it underneath. Now this is before they put out the addendum that said that you could bring it on a flight. Like literally like 2 weeks before that addendum came out, and it was a guy up in South Dakota, and he stopped me and he was like, "No, you can't bring that on the plane." They pulled it out of X-ray. I was like, "Look, I'll take it apart. I'll show you it works." He's like, "Nope, you can't put it on." And this was like, remember Brass Flex, the Steam Flex one that I did, Space? That was like right after I finished it. And I was like, you don't understand what you're doing. It's like, please don't make me put that below. And they did. They made me put it in my, go back to the beginning of the airport and put it in my luggage and check it underneath. I was a mess all the way, like, you know, flying the 4-hour flight. I was like, please nobody steal it. Please nobody steal it. Yeah.
Wow. I'm scared to death to fly with a saber.
Yeah, I don't think I'll do it again. That was too nerve-wracking. Not international.
Harris
but
is,
like,
yeah, but Harris is more afraid if the plane goes down about his saber than himself.
Yeah. Save the lightsaber.
You know, I've had
Gabe
a
just
lot of
flew.
luck.
Jedi Gabe went to Florida, and he took his saber. He took his Mad Cow saber.
And they let him in to the galaxy's edge with the saber, right? I mean,
yeah, they let him in. He was walking around with the saber
in there.
I've had a lot of luck traveling with my sabers. Like I've flown international with them as well. And they ask me, I'm like, it's just a flashlight. And I turn it on without sound. And they see the light and they're like, okay. And they let me go. So I've had a lot of luck. And then also in Disneyland, like I've taken my lightsaber so many times. No issues there.
Yeah, I imagine they're pretty forgiving, but that's crazy. You showed them, it was like they must be like, that's one fancy flashlight, right?
Yeah, I tell them it's a glorified flashlight because that's what they are.
Yeah. Mundo's got a good name for this Jedi. How about
Wampmar?
Master Wampmar?
Ooh, that's a good name, Wampmar.
Even Les misspelling healer, he says, how about Wandmar? I kind of like that too, but then he says no, Wampmar. I mean,
yeah, I think Wampmar sounds better. It rolls off the tongue better.
Yeah.
Wampmar.
That's pretty cool.
I like that.
I think I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I like Jedi Fuzzy Face.
Maybe since it's your birthday. There you go. Jedi Fuzzy. Maybe since it's your birthday, we'll christen it.
Ah.
Yeah.
Make it so. Mundo has spoken.
Jedi, it's Master Jedi Wampmar from now on, for sure. We
Yeah,
like
that's
it.
6. That's so 6, Space. Oh my gosh.
That looks
I wanna
great.
hear-
Like I said, I'm watching up on my big screen, and that looks amazing up on the 60-inch TV.
I want his hairstyle. Where can you get one of those?
Probably at the cleaning store. It's like those mops.
Right? He's almost
Very
kind of
cool.
Rasta. So, Robert, I noticed you got even more helmets in the background than before. I got to ask, what's your favorite printer now? Not resin. Or are you doing them all resin now?
Yeah, I've never done a FDM printed helmet. They've all been resin.
Oh.
So all the ones I've done have been resin.
I did not know that. That's why they look so amazing. They're so clean.
So all the ones on behind me, like right here, this row on top, those are all actually like master replicas.
Okay.
They're all licensed helmets, except for the Sidious and Maul. Those are actually busts. And then the ones over here, the only ones I've printed is the 2 tubes, the Malik, the Revan, and then I don't know if you guys probably can't see it, but let me see if I can turn the camera.
Oh, nice.
So there is see if I can get it to focus over there. There you go. So the concept Kylo Ren, I did that one. And then also the Nihilus. And then the Darth Bane one, I had that one done by, I think it's Galaxy Props. He did that for me. And
beautiful setup.
He did.
Look at all the sabers. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Love it. Absolutely love it, man.
I have another Havoc coming. So there's a Havoc helmet. See if I can point at it right there. So that's a Havoc helmet from the Knights of the Old Republic. And that I have my buddy Matt Banks painting me the other one I have, and he's almost done with it. So I can't wait to get that sucker in and show it off because that thing looks amazing.
That is unreal. So Barbara wants to get a resin printer. What brand do you recommend?
So I've been pretty loyal to EPAX, and I love that they're in the United States. So if you have any issues or if you need replacement parts, or if you want to upgrade parts. They are in the United States, in North Carolina or South Carolina, and they, their customer service is outstanding. So all the printers I have 4 of them. I have 4 of them. They're all EPACs, and one of them is like the huge one that I use for helmets, and then the other 2 are kind of a medium size that I use for armor and stuff. And then I have a small one that it's like for chassis.
Unbelievable. Did you do the Star Killer up on the top shelf?
No, that Star Killer, that black one.
No, the other one.
Killer.
It's on the same shelf as the ones you printed.
This one right here. Yep. No, that one was done by Galaxy Props, and he did a really good job too.
Man, I do not know how they're duplicating that gunmetal, like reflective like that. It looks so good.
Yeah, he did a really good job. I was impressed. So I'm really happy with it.
I attempted a Mando helmet with an FDM printer, and I could never get it to shine like that. I just hit it with like weird silver and did the best I could. But
have you guys seen some people will use like a graphite powder and rub
I tried that.
Yeah,
It's a mess.
It didn't work.
Well, you got to have a really smooth surface, so I think like a resin printer would do it justice.
Gotcha.
So my printing tip for you is, if you're printing them on FDM, buy resin and coat it with resin, and it'll smooth it out once you've done. And it's really simple to do. So you just coat it with a little bit of resin to fill it in completely, and then just sand it down, and it turns out smooth as butter.
All right, I didn't even think to do that. You like brush it on, kind of in a way.
Yeah, just brush it on, cure it, and then sand it, and
nice.
It's a miracle worker.
That's a great idea, because I fought the FDM lines. I was just like, this is no fun at all.
No, that's why I refuse to print on FDM, at least helmets, because you get those layers, and it's just a pain in the ass to sand them. Like on chassis, it's easy, but on like helmets, because it's so big, and you're freaking sanding there forever. And I was like, screw this shit.
Yeah.
So that's why I got the resin printers.
Yeah, nice work, man.
Sweet.
And Space, Robert is your go-to guy if you ever need to do like massive internal changes or external changes to a hilt. He's got the big boy lathe, so.
Oh yeah, I can totally
really?
machine stuff for you, no problem.
Yeah.
Sick. Okay.
Your hilt work is unbelievable, man. Well done.
That's good to know. Awesome.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I've been a fan of yours for years, bro.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
I got to put more stuff out.
You're in like all aspects of the saber building then. So you have like the from scratch, and then even the electronic side, you have worked with like doing stuff for the crystal focus and kind of like the back end of the board in a sense.
Yeah, that was when I first got into the community, I never expected to be able to achieve what I've achieved. And I'm very grateful to everybody in the community for helping me realize that dream and make it come true. Because when I first came in, I just wanted a saber. I just wanted one. And I ended up with this.
I think
I ended up with this one. Okay? So
we all just want that one saber, man.
I just wanted that one saber. And I ended up with this, and it's been one hell of a journey, and I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. And I'm grateful. I truly am. Just being able to learn how to do installs, to learn how to do my own machining, to learn how to do 3D designing and printing, and bring it all together to be able to create what we love so much has been a true blessing.
It's an amazing time with all the
technology
upgrades all the technological upgrades that we've received for these sabers. It really is like anything's possible now. Exactly. With the I guess the lighting could there could be some kind of leap at some point, but I think for the sound, I mean, do you desire any more from the sound other than maybe a bigger sound? But as far as the sound is just it feels complete to me now. I mean, with the smooth swing fonts and everything else, and quality, and the way like Jedi Arms Dealer has his setup where he can transmit the signal to a external speaker, or how I see on some people's YouTube videos, they have like a cord a wire going from their saber to directly to the computer, so you could gain that, at least the video quality or like HD quality, you know, in the output, at least, if not in your room itself, coming from the hilt. It's just it's something else. I would have never, I say it almost every video, I would have never imagined either, like going from broomstick painted green all those years ago to where we are now, which is like the pinnacle of prop building is possible now. And it's like only your time limit is holding you back, right? It's like if you have all the time in the world, you could do anything now.
Yeah, with all the technology that's at our feet, you know, we can pretty much achieve anything. Like I'm sure at some point, as you mentioned, I think the only thing we're missing is probably like a hologram blade.
Yeah.
To have a hologram blade where we don't need to be taking these tubes out and putting them in. We'll just press it, and then, you know, it'll like instantly light up.
It'll come to life where it's really not there physically, but it's there in light.
Yes, and it'll fill in and it'll look like it's legit.
Right.
Yeah,
I think that would be our next big giant leap into the saber community, is to be able to create like a hologram blade. Because I think everything else we've pretty much covered. We got the hilts, we got the sounds, we got the swings, we got all the sound effects and light effects we want. We got our crystal chambers. You guys are, you know, do amazing job with the rotating stuff and all the brass and everything. I think the only thing we're really missing is to eliminate the plastic blade and create a hologram. I think that would be our next big advancement.
Very cool.
Because it seems to me like the NeoPixel stuff is going to be around till the next breakthrough.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, the NeoPixel is, you just can't beat it. It's outstanding. The only thing that would beat it is to get rid of the blade completely and have that hologram just do it for you in and out.
Yep.
Right, because like the light output isn't so much the problem anymore. It's just the fact that something physically is there, like you said, and you can't do the extendable thing out of your pocket. You'd have to carry this plastic tube. Whereas if it was a hologram or something of that nature, you would really just need the hilt, and that would be so much easier to carry around.
Yep. Or just make an actually real lightsaber laser that comes out and burns stuff up.
Have you guys
seen
that
they
video?
Would classify that as like if like switchblades aren't legal. I mean, in my state of New Jersey, you can't even have like a hidden blade. Imagine the lawsuit for one of those. I don't know.
I know, right?
How many of you guys think you're gonna like hurt yourself like Mando did last week?
Oh, I totally would. Like,
I would cut my arm off, dude.
I think I'd be missing a head and definitely a leg first, because you know right where Mando hit his leg is where I hit my leg when I'm spinning. Yeah, you guys do that? Like I'm spinning and I hit my leg right there as well. So I totally got that when he did that. I was like, that's exactly what I do. I wouldn't have a leg either. That's why I thought he was going to logically. If not, I thought the armor was more in tune with what he needed. But if not, why didn't he ask, like, hey, how about a side plate for this leg?
Don't burn my leg again. Chop it off.
But he seems to be trying to find the answer in more of a training regard. Like, oh, how do I get better at this rather than like more armor? I thought more armor would be better because that stuff, the Beskar is is resistant a little bit to the lightsaber blade. A glancing blow won't hurt him if he swipes by the Beskar because it could block lightsabers, right? So,
yeah, he just has to get good with it. That's all.
I was super happy in this episode with the way that the cameras were working as well, like whoever did the angles of the shots and all, because in the previous ones to that in the Boba Fett series, I thought it was getting a little stale the way like Empire Strikes Back seemed to have so many different camera angles. You know, at like one point we're behind like it looks like jungle and there's snakes. It's like when Luke was in the cave, and there's different angles in Return of the Jedi and stuff. And in Empire Strikes Back, lots of low shots and then different shots. I thought this Boba Fett was a little too like everything was middle. middle of the, like a chest height shot or leading up to this episode, which I thought was a lot better. Like this presented a lot of different views, a lot of different angles, a lot of like the cinematography was just so much better in this episode. I was starting to almost see in the ones leading up to this that they were on this sound stage, that they were just kind of wheeling around a camera or something. But this one seemed a lot more lively to me in that regard. I don't know if you guys are interested in that type of thing or pick that up.
I thought the saber blades looked great in the episode tonight.
Yeah, the sparks, dude.
Yeah, looked really cool.
I love the sparks, like when they're blocking all them laser blasts and stuff.
Yeah.
That was my favorite scene. Just like my favorite scene in that Rise of Skywalker is when Luke and Leia were training as younger people. That was just something else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My buddy Tim and I were talking about like the whole Book of Boba Fett versus the Mandalorian series, and we kind of came up with this idea that I think the reason that the Book of Boba Fett felt so kind of almost slow and constrained is because he is constrained to Tatooine, whereas like in Mandalorian he's going all over the galaxy. So every episode in the Boba Fett, the first what was it 4, all were on Tatooine, all sand, all that's other than maybe some of the flashbacks, but you know what I mean. Like it seemed like it was moving a little slow because we weren't going off world. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
That might have been part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and look at that picture you just posted up. Don't that look like the librarian Jedi in the middle? You can see her bun in the back of her head.
That looks like a dude to me. It looks like a young Qui-Gon, but
really, I see the librarian, man. Looks like the back of the head of the librarian. She's got that bun that like
doesn't she have like white hair?
School lunch lady hair bun.
Can you find a picture of her space? Because does she have like the arm shield things?
Right.
I think her name is Jocasta Nu, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
Yeah, I'd like to see her if they got any photos in her Jedi garb.
I think in one of the reviews I watched, they showed their pictures, and that the one in the middle is a guy, the one on the left is a guy, and then the one on the right's a girl.
Ah, okay.
So it still could be her.
I think it's the one in the middle is her.
No, that's a dude.
With the green blade.
Yes.
See, she's old. She's old, right?
Yeah, she's an older lady.
So see, she does kind of have the side lapels on her shoulder or whatever that is. It hangs off.
And can you find a picture of her?
Interesting.
Yeah, do you see it on screen there? Maybe you're a little behind there.
I see it now. I'm in on delay, but yeah, I see it now.
Let's go back here. I'm gonna.
Looks like her from the back.
Her librarian outfit.
Yeah, you see the one picture with like the purple background.
Yep.
Yeah.
It looks like she's got a bun in the back of her head.
Well, let's kind of watch this scene real quick. Let's see if we're allowed to. I won't put the sound on, but let's see if we can see a little more here. Because to me, that guy was moving very, very, very swiftly, very much like a dude. I thought the way
it's a fast scene.
Moving,
it's the action's
so
happening
fast.
very fast.
Yeah, it was kind of had to be not blinking to see what was going on here.
I laugh every time.
Let me go back a little bit more.
Disney knew how to get the ladies into Star Wars as well by the masses. He's so cute.
That mind reading technique, he showed that to Ben Solo too.
There you go.
That dude's like switching his hand, his lightsaber hand. That was crazy. He went from like left grip to he didn't make it. Or you know what? In that dying shot, it looked like a woman, but Rob says that leading person is a dude, and this one on the right was a chick. And poor Grogu has to be kidnapped, I guess, right here and taken away to be experimented on for like years and years and years. That's just awful. That's so awful. I can't believe Luke is torturing him with this choice. at the end. I hope it's a test. Rich Sangillo is here. What is going on, buddy? He says, if that was her, Filoni would have made it obvious he is pretty overt with his fan service. Yeah, she would have like turned and winked. She would have turned and winked at Harris.
It's been a while since I had an old lady wink at me.
But yeah, this like the cuteness factor on this Grogu was like off the charts in this episode. He was like jumping around, and
so what do you guys think of the overall show?
I'm digging it. I like it.
Are we talking about Boba Fett?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it gets tough.
So I usually work Monday to Friday, like until I get done at work about 4:30, and I can't wait to get home and put it on and watch it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it just Tim and I keep saying we're like, well, it is not no Mando, but it's got a lot of moments of serious Star Wars eye candy. The Slave One hovering over the Sarlacc pit, like that was epic for me.
Fabulous.
I love that scene.
Yeah.
They blew it up. I was like, wow, they
Amazing.
went there. Cool. So it's got some really amazing moments.
I also like how in a couple of those shots you can see the barge, like the crashed barge, what's left of it, sitting in the sand. You know, Jabba's barge that they wrecked. Very cool.
What about you guys as a whole right now? Where we're at? How do you feel about the Book of Boba Fett?
I'm digging it.
I'll probably have the most unpopular opinion. I'm enjoying it. I just don't like the rhythm of it. And
I'm there too.
It really bugs me that the last two episodes have pretty much had nothing to do with Boba. I love that they brought in Ahsoka and Luke and Grogu and Mando and especially Cad Bane. Like that was freaking awesome. And we still need to talk about that. But the fact that it just and I'm gonna you'll probably understand this better as somebody who can DJ. It's like you have all these great songs and you're trying to mix them in together at once, and they're offbeat, they're not synced up, and even though they're all great, it's just not flowing right. That's the way I'm seeing it.
It's
I'm
like
enjoying
the order
it, but at the same time,
of a good album.
Yeah,
like
it's
the
like,
song order matters too. And
yes,
to me, like the song order is way out of order.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, I wouldn't have had this happen this way at all. Like I would have had the way you do a good crossover. They've lost their way. Forgive the pun about the show, but they've kind of lost their way in this 2022 of how to do a crossover. Like back in the 90s, back in the 80s, when you do like a comic book crossover, what you do is you have like, let's say it's Spider-Man and the Avengers or something. What you have is you have like Amazing Spider-Man number like 453, and Spider-Man mentions the Avengers, or somebody says they need him over there or something. Then you have like Avengers number 56, which is at the time, like, let's say that's like comes out 2 weeks later. So you go pick up Avengers number 49 or whatever, and you see Spider-Man come into the story. And then you got to go pick up the next Spider-Man issue to see it continue. And then you go get the next Avengers issue, see what happens next. It's all happening at the same time. What I feel like would have been a proper execution of this would be to have Mandalorian seasons starting amidst the running of the Boba Fett series. So if you have, let's say, Boba Fett episode 5 airing on January 24th, you'd have like Mando episode 1 season 3 airing like February 1st,
back to back.
You could pick up the story of where the characters were crossing over. So like, for instance, the last episode, Boba Fett number 5 would have been like Mandalorian number 1 of the new season, and it would have been placed in place of right smack where it needed to be in the timeline, right. So whatever the date was, that would insert it right where it needed to be for fans of Boba Fett to cross over if they wanted to get the rest of the story, they would have to be bounced back to the Mandalorian.
Yep, I agree. That would have been a much better path.
Yeah, now
Good
Disney
idea.
doesn't have a problem with doing this because they kind of did it with like Endgame, right? So they did it with the Avengers Endgame, where I'm sure you have a lot of people in the theater in Endgame that didn't see all the previous movies that led up to Endgame. So they're doing it. They're good at doing it. People don't seem to mind it. But I'm from the the old school of the original crossover, which is like we kind of take turns. So in the Boba Fett episode that comes next, we would see like Mandalorian would already be there, let's say, because they had crossed over in the Mandalorian episode 1. So then we bounce back to Boba Fett episode 6. We see Mandalorian is there. And then when we bounce back to Mandalorian episode 2, the next week we would see the story continue and so on and so forth. Because although we are all in the same club here where we're like, this is fine. Like, this is, you could show us Mandalorian. We're all kind of here on the same boat. We're all watching it for the same reasons because we love Star Wars. But what if you were one of those people that was, let's say, just watching Boba Fett? You didn't really know about the other stuff. You'd be thoroughly confused when episode 5.
What the hell's going on?
Right.
Yep. Yeah, that's my only gripe with what's going on in the episode and the season as a whole. But having all these cameos, I think it's fantastic. I love all the characters.
it's overload.
It is definitely sensory overload, but I love it. It's just how they're implementing it that's kind of like, oh, what are you doing? Like, hold on.
Yeah, it's almost too crazy of a roller coaster.
Yeah.
And, for us like super fans, it's totally fine because we want it, like, no matter how it's coming. But it's just odd the way it's coming, right?
Yes.
The way it's coming to like say like come and watch Boba Fett, and then you sit there for an hour-long Mandalorian episode never seeing Boba Fett. It's odd. It's odd. It's like I don't know. It's like going to a pizza place and you get caviar or something. So it's like okay, well I got like upgraded, but I don't know. Like that wasn't why I came to the pizza place, but I did get upgraded, so I have to be happy about that.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
all of us were following both anyway. I was just wondering like what that must be like for somebody's like girlfriend or something who's sitting there going, what the hell? Like, like I sat through those other episodes. Now, what is this? It's like, oh, well, you didn't see the Mandalorian. Last year you were busy. You didn't see Mandalorian. Oh, okay. Well, I'm lost now.
That's funny.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that sees it that way. But other than that, I'm still enjoying it. I'm still loving it.
Yeah. Rich says, I love it. We are living through the best time of Star Wars in the last 30 years. Yeah, we're getting much content. It's great to have a lot. It's great to have a lot, and it's high quality.
So let me ask you guys, what do you guys think is going to happen next week?
I think the war's going to break out, and then we're going to be left on the cliffhanger.
Yeah. There's no way they're going to leave it on Grogu's decision though, like they did. Like I almost wonder if you're right, Anthony, where we're not going to get to see that.
Are we going to see the beginning of the war, or you think they're going to save that for the next season?
I think we'll see that full battle of who are the enemies? The Pikes gangsters?
Yeah, the Pikes.
Pikes.
Yeah, they blew up the bar. They blew up the bar tonight.
Yeah, and
Right.
no survivors.
Right. Like
Terrorists.
other than what we experienced today and last week's episode, where we were thrown off a little bit plot wise, they've always kind of completed the arc, right? So I think we will see the complete of that battle. It is kind of hard to say now that we've kind of been thrown off of the main plot. It is strange that for 2 weeks, well, they had that scene tonight where it was that battle plan, so we kind of brought us back to why we're here. Okay, we're going to attack the Pike gangsters or not let them distribute the spice. so they brought it back in this episode and tried to remind us where we are headed. So hopefully we do see that complete battle. But I wonder who in that battle, like, it's to make it worth something, someone's going to have to go, right? I mean, is it going to be the Wookiee? Is it going to be Fennec? Is it going to be the Marshal if he's still alive and able to fight? It could be the Weequay Barter. I think there'd be a couple people down. Since it's the finale, I don't know.
Yeah,
but we saw a lot of people go down tonight. It was like a whole club full of people. Those 3 Twi'leks plus all their guests. It looks like they were all killed in that explosion.
Yep.
You think the droid survived?
Which droid?
The droids.
Oh, any of them.
The server.
I don't know.
The servers.
I don't know. They keep that one droid that's like all over Galaxy's Edge. I forget his name. They keep shoving him down our throats.
DJ Rex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
I
keep
like
pushing
that
him
club.
down our
Like
throat.
that club was pumping.
All right, let me ask you guys this, right? So in the opening scene, we see the Marshal. He kicks over the box. Is that what spice looks like?
Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
never.
Spice.
It's just dust, right? I mean,
it
it almost looked
It
like
almost looks
sand.
like
in the
sand,
box.
right? It
I
almost
Like, I
thought it
kind of
was
wasn't
sand.
sure if that was what we thought it was.
Yeah,
It's
that was the spice. It kind of showed that he didn't care about that money, or he wasn't willing to go down that road to get the money.
Yeah, he didn't want the
way.
spice in his town, basically.
not
So I
a
kind of
drug
gathered
dealer.
that he kicked it over, but that was
even
it.
though they
That
said
was,
it was worth more than the entire town, that amount of spice was like.
but yet
worth
he
a
let
lot.
him leave with the money. He had the ice cream container full of money.
Mm.
That's why I thought they played him, because I thought it was sand. Huh. I'm glad you guys explained that to me.
So the spice, it actually looked like kind of like a cinnamon color with a little bit of
It looked like
gloss
dust.
to it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought
it
it
was
was like a
glit.
cinnamon. Yeah,
It was
I wanna take
shining or
some.
sparkly.
yeah. I mean, it technically isn't cinnamon spice.
Yeah, that's true.
Put it on your French
Rich,
toast.
I
Yeah,
don't want
yeah.
any anymore because Rich says it's basically heroin. No, I don't want that.
No,
I don't want
that.
I thought it was like spice from Dune or something. Maybe that's better.
That one makes you hallucinate.
And you gain special powers, like we could pretend we are Yoda or Luke.
Yeah, there you go.
With it, even without the force powers. That's scary.
So on a side tangent, speaking of pixel blades, this will trip you guys out. This is the Corbanth Darksaber blade that came with it, and
it's got a curve to it.
Yeah, and this is the first time I've ever seen a blade come with 35/35s.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is that? What is that? I don't know what that is.
This is the Corbanth Darksaber.
No. What's that thing you just pulled out?
He's
That's
pulling out
just
one of the strips.
It's a
Oh,
pixel
I
strip.
can't tell on my little.
It's a
little thing.
35/35. So it was already loaded in here. I've never seen anybody do that before. So kudos to Corbanth and Randy. I don't have to go out and get one for this. It's already pre-cut, stuck back to back. You just got to solder it up.
Wow,
Oh,
that
cool.
curve is crazy.
That's
I've
well
never
done.
seen a Darksaber with a curve like that.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting blade. It's like trans white on the bottom lip, and then it's got black paint on it. Injected molded ABS, I think.
It's like a polycarb.
I don't know how strong it is. I want to say it's ABS,
Oh, it's
but
bending.
no, I don't think it's
bending a little.
Yeah.
That's great. So that would be
I don't
pretty
know.
tough, I think. I mean, not that you want to battle with it, but the fact that it bends means that it could take something. I mean, it's
I don't know
hollow
if
and
I'd
it has
battle
like a
with it.
channel.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It has like a
Well, so
channel
that
for the
fits
strips.
perfectly in the Corbanth version of the Darksaber.
That's the Corvette. Now that's the oval,
So,
the oval Darksaber, right?
right here. So kudos to Randy Johnson if you sent this to me early, dude. Thank you so much because I love this thing. It is heavy. I don't know how you guys did it. If this part is brass, it's not steel because I ran a magnet all over the whole thing. There's no steel in it, but I don't know how they got it this heavy unless it's just super thick aluminum walls or this part here, but it's really heavy. It's crazy.
Can I
But
ask?
I
how
really
much?
like it. This was $475
And that's with the blade.
with the blade. Yeah.
Whoa,
I don't think
really?
you can buy it with. I don't think you can buy it without the blade. So it's got a single tack already pre-installed. But yeah, and then these are cut out. Once you remove the blade plug, it has like a chrome. Yeah, you can pull it up if you want, Anthony, on Corbant. They got it on the site. I wasn't expecting it because when I bought it, I just bought it like a few days ago, and it was said pre-order. I was like, oh, it'll probably be April, and the thing showed up like 3-4 days later. It's like,
Nice.
what's going on? This is awesome. So thank you, Randy, if you ever watch this or you're watching it or whatever. If you sent this out, this is epic. I'm in love with this thing. I can't wait to install
Very
it.
cool.
Yeah.
I'm like part of the way into doing my Solos Hold version of that. I just love it. I love like the squareness of my Solos Hold version. That one that you have seems more like the show version, and the one that I have seems more like the cartoon version.
Yeah, the one that you have, Ann, is the one that I've seen. That looks more like the one we saw in Rebels. Much more silver, not a black hue to it.
And it's square. It's like squared off.
Very
on every
squared
corner,
off. Yeah.
Whereas the one from Corbin there seems to be.
That's the one I wanted, Robert. Yeah. That's the one I wanted. But I was like,
did you guys see
the same thing, but it has weathering?
Nah, he told me about this one, and I was like, I don't want to buy one already installed. Go ahead, Robert.
Oh.
So this is the Electrum version.
It's badass.
I was not a fan of their switch plate, so I created my own switch plate. It's hard to see, and it's got my own switches. So
badass.
And it has a removable chassis. But they did a really good job. So I'm not one for buying more than one version of hilt, so I'm gonna stick with this one because it looks pretty damn close to what you have. And I'm really happy with this one. So this is my Darksaber, and I'm sticking with it.
Is the grid on your Darksaber round or oval?
It's oval.
It's oval.
Nice.
I like the weathering on it. I like how it's not so black. You know, it's kind of gray in those hue areas.
Did you do that, Robert? Did you weather it?
No, it came like that.
Came like that?
Oh wow, okay. Yes. And so I know you can't get one not installed. So can I ask how much that one ran? Because I was so close to getting that one and gutting it.
So I actually bought it secondhand, and I bought it from Cooper. And I think I paid what he paid. I forgot what he paid. I think it was like around $300, $400, if I recall correctly. Wow. And I gutted it. I sold the internals, and then I just created my own chassis and installed it with CFX.
So being as we're doing show and tell, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about what I'm working on. I don't know if you guys have seen this. There's been a lot of pictures.
Yeah, I have.
This is a TCSS custom hilt that I had custom etched by Pete over at Bad Batch Etching.
Oh, Pete does great work.
He just did an amazing job on it. I'm trying to, I don't know if you can see it. That's the Jedi code etched into it.
Oof.
And I mean, it cost a small fortune for the etching, but well worth it. Pete's work is just unbelievable.
Wow.
And so far, I'll show you this. It unscrews to give a kind of a chassis reveal. I don't know if you can see it.
I like what you did there. Yeah.
Nice.
I wrapped the battery.
Yeah.
And there's not much room for a kill plug. So I did the little kind of fold down ring on the kill plug.
There you go.
And the board is up and running, but I'm having trouble. In fact, I'm gonna get to you sometime soon, Ant. See if I can pick your brain. I can't get the blade to light.
What did you put in there?
Software.
Yeah, I think it, and I suck at software. That is definitely not my strong point. Anthony knows that about me.
On the software, you gotta make sure you have the pixel.
Yeah, I did that. I tried that. Didn't work.
Really?
Didn't work. And then also, I'm going to throw. Well, so again, I'm going to mention Pete Sandinovel, Bad Batch Etching, amazing work. Well worth every penny that I gave him. It wasn't cheap, just for the etching alone. I did the parts. I got the parts from TCSS. Something I really like. I've done a few hilts in this style. I don't know if you can see it, but I did the teardrop cutouts on that emitter.
Oh, wow.
And it's really cool because the blade plug that I have in there kind of shows off that it's brass at the top. And when you light the blade, the holes are going to show through the blade.
Nice.
So that's going to be a cool little piece I'm working on. And actually, I've been on the fence, and I got to throw another bone out today. And I mean, anybody who watches us on Saber Talk knows that I'm a fan of TCSS, and I ordered TCSS came out today with a wind vane for their thin neck system, and that was the final piece for me. And I ordered all the parts today to do. I'm gonna do an Obi-Wan Episode 3 out of TCSS, all TCSS parts. The only thing I didn't get from TCSS from Roman's Props, I ordered today their chrome Graflex clamp for it. Thank you, Munda. Thank you, buddy. And I gotta throw him a bone because I put the order in at 4:30, and at about 6:45 tonight, I got an email that says it was shipped. So, and their shipping's pretty fast. So I'll probably have it on Monday. I'm figuring Monday or Tuesday. And just TCSS, just amazing work. The guys are great and fast. Anything you order, it comes quick. So that'll be my next piece I'm working on. But Ann, I got to get over to you. I'm going to pick your brain on this if I can.
Yeah, for sure. That looks crazy.
if I can get you to
never
help me
saw
with
it
that.
so close up.
Gorgeous.
That's a lot of detail, man. That's
And then I'm playing tonight with my my Disney. I wanted it as a collector's piece. I mean, you figure all the high end stuff that we're working on, but I don't know when I'm going to get the Disney. I bought a used Disney, and just to play with, something to have in the collection.
So
I'm
all
messing
your
with this
crystals work with that saber that you had all the
you can
color
take it all
crystals,
apart.
right?
I'm not going to do it now, but you take it all apart, and whatever color crystal, I have 6 crystals. You put the crystals in there, and the blade turns. You put the purple crystal in, and you get a purple blade. The sound is horrendous, very delayed. Like you swing it, and like 15 minutes later, it makes the noise. So nothing like smooth swing, nothing like we get on a profi board or anything.
Yeah, we're
But
definitely.
that's kind of what I got working right now. I've been working on that couple TCSS pieces, and I was almost going to pop for a Romans Obi-Wan. I really like their Obi-Wans. They're beautiful. I like the Episode 3 is the one that does it for me. They're all weathered.
Yeah,
So
those are really nice.
I'll be getting that, and I'm going to order some tomorrow morning. I'm going to order some aluminum black, and dunk those pieces in some aluminum black. The grenade section. I can't wait. Put that in some aluminum black and darken that up. And I can't wait to see that chrome. I bought the chrome version. It was twice the price. The standard satin finish in the Graflex clamp was 40 or 45. The chrome version was. I did see the Rancor tooth, Rich. Very cool. I'm not a fan of that whole Rancor tooth thing on the bottom of a saber, but I did see it, and the one TCSS kind of looks nice. It's got that special little glow to it. I've only seen it in silver. I haven't seen it in that like tooth white or yellow. But I just wanted to throw some props to TCSS, and looking forward to getting that Romans chrome clamp. My tongue's not working tonight. So that's what I'm working on. Wanted to show you guys that.
Robert, you got to show off your I don't know what you named it or called it, but it's the one that's on your Sidious stand that has like Sidious's throne.
Oh, my pod racer hilt.
Is that what it's all? It's mostly black. It's very Sithy looking. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, nice. That looks like a speeder
machining.
bike handle a little bit.
I love the machining
Very
on
cool.
that, man. Well done.
Fantastic. Looks like a great size, dude. That looks like a great size.
It's not
for
too
handling.
big. It's not too small. Like this is my hand. It's pretty much almost as big as the hilt. I got large hands, but I'll show you all the detail on the emitter.
Very nice.
Like the grip area looks like a perfect width to spin around and stuff. Oh, I love all the vertical bars and things you have going there.
You spent some time on the mill for sure.
Oh yeah, it took me a long time to do all of this.
Very nice.
Oof.
Very nice.
Absolutely.
I still haven't installed it. So this will be
that's-
this is actually the crystal chamber area right here, this choke point, and I'm gonna install a rotating crystal
Whoa.
Nice.
Sweet.
Now that's you would never duel with a rotating crystal, would you? Would
I
that
don't
kind
really
of jam it
do
up?
with my high end hilts. I'll use like my beater hilts for that stuff.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah, I mean, I have an Ultra Sabers that I use as a beater. I don't care if I drop it, you know.
So this comes apart, and then actually here's the chassis right here. So and then there is the motor for it already.
Oh,
Very
that's
cool.
It's
That's
ready.
what I use.
So it's ready. I just gotta finish the install, which I haven't done.
Nice.
Is that a space for what size battery is that for?
So it will fit an 18650 battery, and it will fit a 28 millimeter speaker. So that's one of my
Nice.
When I make hilts, that is a must for me, is to always have removable battery and a 28 millimeter speaker, and then I design everything around that.
It's funny. None of my sabers have a removable battery. Every saber has an in-hilt battery in charge.
So this is the blade plug right here. If I can
That
get
thing
it
is
to
beautiful,
focus.
bro.
Oh, great. It looks like the Jedi Killer.
It's wicked looking. Really
Did you
evil.
printed the chassis custom for that piece?
Yeah, I designed and printed. So I do all my own design and printing of my chassis
Very
and
nice.
hilts. So
Very
this,
nice, bro.
all this is brass. This is brass. This is steel right here. Yeah.
That's really
So-
nice, man. I love how
You
those
milled this-
vertical bars line up as well.
Oof. So you milled the steel on that as well, Robert?
Yep. I did all
Oh
that.
man, that's a bitch.
How hard is it to mill
Steel.
steel?
You have to go slow and very small increments of as you're taking off thousands. You don't
Yeah.
want to go too deep because you'll bite. You'll either break your tool or you'll bite the steel and it'll damage it. Or
Is
it'll
that done
pull it
on
right
a
off.
CNC machine or is that done on a regular lathe?
No, it's all manual machining. It's all manual
Wow.
on a lathe and mill.
Nice. Very nice. I would kill for a lathe. Oh my God, I
yeah.
would love to have a lathe.
They're really not that expensive. It's just finding a place to put them in that's the hard part.
Yeah, I'm in an apartment
Yeah.
right now, so I don't have any room for it. In fact, most of my collection stuff, you're looking at I used to have a huge wall like you did behind me. I mean, right now, like I got a nice Star Wars blanket. That's it. A couple hilts here, but I don't have any room for anything like that. I would kill for it.
No, yeah,
I've been enjoying this 31 millimeter speaker that I
Oh yeah, I
want
wanted
to
to ask you about that.
jazz in like everything now because like I think I blew one already, but I don't know if it was its fault or my fault. But this is the second one I put in here. But
And what
I think
saber
it's
is
got a
that?
real nice. It's my Luke
Base.
Skywalker.
That's your Skywalker, like the V2
It's kind
looking
of like
one?
my V2.
Yeah.
It was a gift. The hilt was a gift from my friend DJ Turbo, my friend DJ, my friend Revan Reborn. He has all those names on FX Sabers, and he
Yeah,
gave me
didn't
this
you-
hilt like years ago, and it was empty for a long time. I just decided to make it like a tech saber.
Didn't you just redo the buttons on that recently?
Yeah, I got some. I don't know if you could tell. Those little
Yeah, you
brass
redid the
hats
buttons
there,
on
are
it,
like
yeah.
Wax. Ooh.
Yeah.
buttons, and I did some more to my like innards because my innards were kind of messed up before, but now they're a lot better in there, and
Nice.
also drew Earth 1 millimeter speaker just to try to test it out, and I'm like really happy with it. So I'm happy with the fullness that it sounds. I want to do these to a lot more.
That's cool.
So
And that's
you feel
running
like
a Profi, right?
Yeah,
you feel like the 31 makes a huge difference because
yeah. You know what? Like I'm
bass.
a little hard of hearing, to be honest. So I rely on other people to tell me. So Gabe came over and we played around with the 31. I put it in his saber. He's like blown away. He's a sound guy, like kind of like Robin, David here are sound guys, and also Harris too. But Harris lost his hearing just like I did. And but
I'm
Gabe
half
said
deaf.
this is
I
just
can't hear anything.
clear to him and everything. And to me, it's fuller, it's clear, and it looks like, you know what it looks like if you go to the KR store, what's it called, the Saber Armory, you will see these there. They come in packs of 3. They're not too expensive. and they look like a little mini subwoofer.
The
So
magnet on that thing is huge. I've seen.
yeah, well, it's like the width isn't as big as the speaker itself, but it's taller, so it looks like a little mini, like 10-inch subwoofer, so like a 12-inch
Nice.
Yeah.
little tiny subwoofer. So it's got a height to it that's not as accommodating as our 2-watt bass speakers or whatever. If there's a height to it, you need a little more room. But I do think that it's like got a better sound, in my opinion, than I did with the 28 before. And then I kind of blew it somehow. I think I may have had the Profi volume number too high when I first installed this, and I ended up putting a 28 back in, and I couldn't deal with it. I was like, it doesn't sound as good. And it was like the best 28 I could find. So I was like, you know what? Let me order more of those little 31s, and I'll try again. I tried again. I've been having some luck over the past week or so.
That's awesome.
You're getting them from KR?
Yeah, so I ended up ordering like 6 more or something like that, so I could
Nice.
put them in some more Sabres. And they sell a smaller version of it. It looks the same, so it still looks like a little subwoofer, but it's 28 or it's 26 or whatever it is. The diameter
Nice.
in
Cal ships very
millimeter.
fast too.
Very
he's fast
fast.
to ship
I'm
stuff
very
and get
happy
stuff
with
out to
that.
you. Even though
Yeah,
it's
it's
coming from
international,
overseas.
but it
Yeah.
comes within like 2 days to my house.
Yeah, he's fast.
Yeah, DHL. Quick.
Yeah. Were the side terminals on those speakers an issue at all? Space, was that a bitch to get on?
It kind of is. For the both Sabres, I put it on Gabe's, and this one here, I had to mill out the speaker pod to like a very thin degree, and then put an even mill out even more on one side so that could rest in nicely without without being completely pressed in.
Captain tape type of thing or something on the terminals, or is it all good now?
I had some electronic resistance tape on the terminal.
That yellow Kapton tape? Is that what you used?
I felt like, but I didn't know if that was causing my feedback or whatever. So what I did was I ended up just like taking that off, and then I still felt like it was not sounding the same. This is the first one I tried. So I removed the entire thing, replaced the entire pod with a different plastic pod that I milled out again, and then didn't require tape on that because it's in a plastic pod. So that's how it's running right now on there. But I just kind of made it so that it fit in like a press fit. The way I did it, I kind of dremeled out the area there. But yeah, it does protrude. Like you'll see the positive and negative on that speaker thing kind of sticks out a bit on that 31. Yeah. So you do have to do something about it when you're installing or make your sort of opening like oblong. So it.
Yeah, it's crazy looking. Gabe showed me on his Sabre. He came over and saw it on his.
Sounds great on Gabe's Sabre. I never heard a Sabre sound as good as Gabe's Sabre. So
it's nice. It's full and loud.
It's full and loud. He has a Genesis Custom Sabres. What is it called? Ascend. Yeah. That's really nice. And really nice Sabre. Yeah. It's been lasting him a really long time too. Felicia says, I'm going to have to rewatch this episode. I've missed so much. You must be busy at work, Felicia. Felicia's got a busy job. She might be busy at work. But yeah, make sure you watch The Mandalorian first, or else things are gonna. Or no, not The Mandalorian, Boba Fett. But it presents
like Mandalorian.
The same thing.
Same thing.
I almost made the thumbnail for this video with like saying it was The Mandalorian, but it really wasn't The Mandalorian.
That would have been a good thumbnail right there with Grogu. He's like looking like, what you talking about?
Like in one of the previous episodes, I think it was like episode 2 of Boba Fett, either Fennec or someone tells him like, we're going to need an army for this. And then they cut to like Mando. I forget what episode it was. It's almost like he's what I took from it was that Mando was like a one-man army. So I find it a little bit, I guess what they're facing is such a big gang, but I found it a little bit surprising tonight when the Mandalorian comes in. They've already got the big evil Wookiee. They've got a bunch of allies there, but still they say this is not enough. We need, even some more people. Where I don't know, I kind of saw Boba Fett and Mandalorian together as a 2-man battalion, like a 2-man army, because when we saw Mandalorian and the Marshal, when he was wearing the Boba Fett armor, they were pretty kick-ass together,
Yeah.
I
They
think
have
it's
a lot of
numbers. The Pikes have a lot of heads, so I think that's why they're recruiting more people, just because of how large the Pike gang is.
Yeah, I really wish they showed that Wookiee, the dark Wookiee, there a little more ferocious in that scene in the bar. I thought it was a little too standard. Like that was one of the things I thought we were going to see in these shows, which was, I don't know, if you remember back to like 1999 when we see The Matrix, and it just blew your mind because you see The Matrix.
And was that the one where we ripped the guy's arm off, that scene?
Right. And although it was, it did it efficiently, showed what we needed to see. Okay, the Wookiees rip arms off. We kind of know that from Han Solo when he's talking about it, right? It's like a callback to what Han Solo said. But the way the scene was filmed, I thought there should have been like more ferocity from the Wookiee. Like his bug scene should have like destroyed the bar halfway. To me, he's like 2 or 3 Chewbacca's. Chewbacca can rip people's arms off. So this guy should be like just a problem and a half. And
you know what I love
what they
about him,
did, but they didn't amp that scene up to the level that it should have been.
You know what I love about him? Watch his eyes. His eyes
the close-up
stand out.
Is great. Like that,
amazing. And he like with the way the eyes move on that character. He like anytime somebody's talking. Oh man.
And it really looks like the comic book character. Like it seems like it's taken straight from the comic books. I don't know if you guys read the comics, but that characters in the comics looks great. Came straight from the comics. The thing I disagreed with when there's certain things like Robert was asking before, what do you guys think of the show overall? Or Jedi Arms Dealer said that, and one of the things I noticed in the first couple episodes was like there was like an inconsistency with being Boba Fett. In one sense, he knows he needs help, so he hires a swoop gang, or those gang of teenagers with the mechanical parts on the Vespas. And they really did look like Vespas. I saw it immediately. I used to own a Vespa, and I said, those are Vespas. And how strange is it that they all have a different color? Why don't they have a different vehicle? Like one guy has a Harley kind of swoop bike.
Yeah.
One of them could have a Vespa style bike, but they all have it. Come on, like that's when it took a turn for stupid. A little stupid there.
I hate
matchy.
Yeah, but like just take what he did there. He hired those teenagers, like he hired them, and they helped. They really did help. Like when the Wookiee came in, and they helped when he was being attacked while sleeping. Those cyborg people helped him. Okay, so it was a win for him. But why did you let that Wookiee walk away at first? Like they're like, he could just go away. It's fine.
Well, and
at the same time, they're going, we need help. We need help. What do we do? And the Wookiee trots away like a jog.
I'd be like, no, you can stay here and work with us. Right?
Yeah, which they realize, and they go after him like in the next episode and ask him that. But why did you let him run away at first? And they have a bag of gold, right? They just handed a bag of gold. How about you take that bag of gold and you say, hey, Wookiee, you're a monster. You need a job. How about you work for us because we need muscle? But it takes like 30 show minutes for that to happen. After you let the Wookiee walk, like just trot away, like he's jogging away in the desert. Like who wrote that? That was so stupid. Where's he running to? He's just running away in the desert. So you're gonna go find him the next time at the bar? That was really silly, I thought.
Yeah, I think it's like a significant other. If you let the person leave and they come back, they're really yours.
It's meant to be.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder. That's what happened with that Wookiee.
I hope you're listening, Disney. You need to call space immediately.
Well, like Rob was saying, some of the story elements are just a little bit like out of order.
I don't know.
They don't need
I
to
know
waste time on certain things.
I don't know if you
I
guys
totally
noticed
agree.
in the first few episodes, Boba was talking a lot. He was like, talking way too much. And then I remember seeing an interview where he said he really didn't want to talk at all. And they completely took away his lines, like, and made him non-existent. I don't know if you guys have seen that or caught that.
I didn't know
were
that.
aware of that he really didn't want to do the talking. He'd rather have Fennec do the talking, which is what she's doing now.
Yeah.
But originally he wanted to stay mysterious, and they made him in the first few episodes, run his mouth, and he wasn't happy about it. So I think that's why we're getting that that change from being a presence to like being non-existent. So we'll see what they do with it in the last episode.
I really hope he starts to walk around with a bigger entourage. I was a little bit disappointed to see him. He goes out on the town at first with just like the Fennec and the two pigs. And, okay, it's formidable. They're formidable, but then they get attacked and he doesn't utilize certain weapons. Like, now, I don't know if he was, I don't know if he was just like, I need to stay on the ground to protect Fennec. I mean, that's like my logic is trying to come up with reasons why he didn't fly up and just flamethrow everybody. I'm just like, I don't know why he's not being like the Boba Fett we saw right before the Sarlacc pit, which he would fly around and torch people and stuff. And I don't know why he was being so kind. There was another scene where I thought he was being very kind, where you have that weasel of a Twi'lek who's like the mayor's assistant.
Oh yeah, kill that guy.
He's already screwed them like 3 times. They walk in, Fennec unsnaps her pistol, and he looks at her and goes, "Why are you unsnapping your pistol? Don't be rude over here." Something. She's like, "Listen, this guy's a fucking weasel." Like, if I was Fennec in that scene, I was like 2 or 3 episodes ago, I would have shot that motherfucker point blank. Like, it was already 2 or 3 betrayals in. Yeah. And Boba Fett was like, "No, it's fine. He could stay around." It's just like, put your gun away, or like whatever he told her. Which I thought that was a little out of character. It's like, you're supposed to be some kind of gangster. Like, this guy just screwed you over, and he's acting like a real weasel. So I think you could point your gun at him minimally, and what I would have done was just shoot him, because you got a whole universe full of people. Why do you need him? But he was in this episode tonight, I guess, giving them some details, telling them some secrets or something. So maybe that's why they kept him around.
No, I from what I recall, they asked where the mayor was and how convenient that he wasn't in town, and then he chimed in saying, "Oh, he was on a scheduled vacation." And we're like, "Yeah, right, bullshit." That was his line, something about him being on vacation.
Right. And then like in the episode where he escapes and he sort of runs out the back door, which was that episode I was describing. So by not shooting him, he gets out the back door. And now there's this like kind of slow car chase where you have the speeder car and the Vespa's following him, which was such a silly thing to watch, because first of all, I thought it was not that well done because it was kind of slow. And we all know that George Lucas's thing from the very start was speed. Like, he's all about speed. Remember, he wants to make the Millennium Falcon look as fast as possible. The X-Wings go very fast. Even in Boba Fett, they understand this because they have the Naboo starfighter just speeding away, and they understand speed. But instead, they show us a slow car chase, which would have been okay, except we already saw that in Solo.
You mean in Back to the Future?
Back to the Future as well. That was right. That was the same. That was Back to the Future 2. That was hoverboard car chase, but with Vespas and a hover car, and it was just not exciting. And I thought for these people, when you're giving them 7 episodes of something, make this shit exciting, because you obviously know how to do it. I mean, how incredible was the opening scene tonight when you hear, and I don't know what kind of sound system you guys are listening on, but I had my stereo turned up a bit, and I hear the Naboo starfighter that's modified. You know, you hear it in the beginning, and you hear it several times throughout the episode. It's like a great suite. It's a great sound. It's awesome. That's what Star Wars is about, is the fucking
Do you
sound.
guys think that starfighter?
Ships.
Do you guys think that starfighter is Anakin's exact starfighter?
No, it's been proven that it's not.
Oh yeah.
The lettering, emblems, whatever, the coding doesn't match to his.
Okay, I didn't hear that. I thought for sure it was going to be, you know.
No, that would have been cool if it was, but they researched it and it's not.
I'm kind of glad it's not, because I think like too many connections sometimes is. I mean, in our real life, trust me, there's a lot of coincidences. It's strange, isn't it? Like when you call your friend, you say something, they're like, "I was just thinking about that." That's so weird. There is a lot of coincidences in life, but sometimes in these movies, it's a little bit of a stretch. So I'm glad that they're not trying to connect everything.
Too much,
Yeah.
Like the one you told me about, space, where Anakin has the same red 5. Did you tell me about? He has the same call letters as Luke's X-wing. In the
I remember discussing. I can't remember if it was Anakin or somebody else.
I thought it was Anakin had the same red 5.
Oh, right. It was in the book. Right?
Yeah.
Part of the Revenge of the Sith book, I think.
Was it the book or the reading of it, and you were listening to it where they read
I was listening to like the audio book, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
If I'm remembering correctly, that might have been where it's from, but I actually don't remember that anymore. Forgot that fact.
That's that kind of thing where it's just like you said, it's too obvious. It's like, really, come on.
Yeah, because it's like they pushed it so hard in the prequels where they're like, Anakin built C-3PO too. It's like, okay, all right, let's just stop, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's why I thought something was going to come out of R2 eventually, because R2 seems to me to be very magical and always at the right place at the right time and always kind of doing the right thing at the right time. So me and David have talked about this before, where I think R2 was built by a Jedi some point, or something infused with some abilities or something. I don't know how he could always be the hero of every single movie,
save the day
without being built by a Jedi.
Yeah, he's the real Jedi.
Mars Machine is here. He says, "Hey, are you guys still going? Hello from Switzerland." Well, hello, Mars Machine. Glad you joined us from Switzerland. There's a lot to talk about. I didn't come online and talk about any of these Boba Fett episodes. I'm kind of just rambling about all the different ones that we've seen this season. I mean, we've seen 6 episodes and vastly different episodes, because the first 2 was almost like a smaller story. And then the next 2 was more small stories regarding the Sand People adventure that Boba was on. And I'll tell you guys, there was a lot to like. There was a lot to like about it. There was just a story element which I don't think was good to do, unless I'm missing something. For instance, maybe something happens in episode 7 that's going to connect or going to bring this character back. But I'll tell you what I have a problem with. So I think it was episode 3 where we have the train attack, right? So they are going to fight back, the Sand People and Boba Fett. They are going to fight back and actually attack the train that's been attacking them. So during the train attack, which is, again, a lot, I don't know what they have this weird infatuation with the Solo movie, because they keep doing things like from the Solo movie. Like we saw a train thing already, but okay, we're going to do it again, and we're going to attack the train. During the train attack, they show a very skillful, like ninja-like sand person who is flying through the windows, doing flips and kicks and amazing stuff. And then later on, we see that person's dead, along with all the other Sand People friends that Boba Fett made. The entire group seemed to be dead. Did anyone else see something different than everyone being dead in that camp? Or
I think one of them survived because they showed the bodies, and then they showed the bodies of the leader, but the one that played the woman that plays one of them, the really thin, the one he fought against when he was training.
Trained,
Right.
That one survived. I think that one survived because I didn't see that one. That one was missing from the body.
Like, because like that's kind of what I was kind of getting at. If that person didn't survive, I think that's a mistake. But if they did survive, okay, it's good. We can move forward. But if they show all that, so it's like going back to the idea of Chekhov's gun. So you're not supposed to show an item unless you're going to use it. And I think it also works for characters as well. So if you see this ninja-like character who is almost surpassing the main character, doing flips, besting the main character, teaching the main character, giving the main character all these tips and stuff, how to fight, etc. But then you're not going to do anything with that person except to say to the audience that they're dead off screen. That was an odd choice because that person, that fighter, really made all the difference that day in that battle. So why are you doing that if that person's just decimated off camera? That's a strange choice. Whereas like the show's called Boba Fett, he's supposed to be the hero. If you want to show somebody doing flips or punching people, have it be him. Unless you're introducing somebody. Are you introducing somebody new, or are you just introducing somebody you just killed off camera when no one can tell? So I really hope that they are around still, because that wouldn't have made sense story-wise if that person's dead. You don't introduce somebody like that and say, oh, they're dead. That's weird, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe they'll show up in the final episode. That would be cool.
Some kind of like lifelong friend, or they've been, they want revenge as well or something against this Pike gang.
Totally. Going back real quick to your Jedi Starfighter bubble. When I saw that space, I was like, well, Mando hates droids. So to me, that it made sense they put the bubble on there. But I like your version better. They're going to put Grogu in there in the future.
Yeah, because didn't you notice that? Yeah, like when they had the Starfighter introduced as his new vehicle, it was kind of coincidental, but also auspicious, right? That he was getting rid of his spear, because that spear was not going to fit in that cockpit, right? Just as you probably saw and thought to yourself when you saw it, that it's not going to fit other people either. But that little pod back there could fit Grogu. So he's going to have to either, figure out different ways to collect his bounties, or my theory on that is he actually is no longer a bounty hunter.
I was talking to my son. That
part of his life is over.
I was talking to my son, and my son said, the difference between the new ship and the old. In the old, he had the carbonite machine where and had people hanging. Can't do that in the new ship,
Just tie him to the wing and fly off. Like you can tie something to your
strap him down.
They can't offer to use. You remember it was like episode 1 or 2 of The Mandalorian. Like someone's like going down there to use his bathroom and snooping around and stuff. There's no bathroom. There's no carbonite chamber. There's no storage.
What did he call it? The evacuation unit?
Yeah, I need to evacuate that one fish guy, whatever his name is.
Yeah, the fish guy, the blue fish
books,
guy.
They call it refresher. I don't know what they said in the Mandalorian episode.
Yeah. Now, what does he do in the new ship? The new ship doesn't have a potty in it.
He chops off their head. Didn't you see?
No, I mean, how does he go in the bathroom?
Oh, the bathroom part.
I think it's so fast that he gets where he's going before he has to
has to take a pee break.
When he lands, he'll use the restroom.
That's funny.
Yeah, he'll have to make a pit stop. See, Jedi Arms Mundo says, I see you repurpose a cyclone to watch the sabers. Oh, a Cylon.
Oh, yes. Yeah, of course. Yeah. I love me some Battlestar Galactica Space Nose. So,
I just finished the entire series. I love it.
I killed a Cylon to make that happen.
I'm a Galactica fan myself.
Oof.
It's great. It's
Yeah.
some really interesting sci-fi. I was super happy to
I have a
just
couple
get on
autographs.
focus
I
on
have
that.
Richard Hatch's autograph. I have Dirk Benedict's autograph.
Nice.
Yeah, I got a helmet. I got a helmet from them. It's all in storage.
And then Starbuck was in The Mandalorian.
Yeah,
He was?
she.
She.
Oh, she, the new Starbuck.
Bo-Katan.
Okay.
Bo-Katan
I got you.
is
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Starbuck.
Katie Sackhoff, I think her name is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
In a
She's
sense,
badass.
that her being in The Mandalorian kind of spawned the idea in me to watch Battlestar Galactica, because seeing like her fan base on Instagram and stuff like that, interacting, I was like, who is this person? And then I realized that she was the star of this show, Battlestar Galactica, and I thought to myself, I've heard of that. I want to watch that. And when I got time, when I found it, I went and watched it just through and through. And I mean, I was I was like addicted. Like I had it on my laptop, and I was, whenever chance I got, I'd watch like 10 minutes of it just to advance the story a little bit. It's just a great sci-fi story that
it is.
Yeah, that it just has an unexpected thing happen, and also unexpected ending, which is pretty cool.
Yep. I actually shed tears on that one. It was so damn good.
Yeah, that it's something when you realize a show is ending so they could properly like wrap it up. It really sucks when like a show has been like canceled, so you don't get the chance to like really see what they intended the ending to be.
You don't get the closure.
You don't get the closure. Yeah.
Right,
I've been watching
right.
a lot of shows lately that do have that ending to it. Like I was telling Jedi Arms Dealer, I watched Babylon 5, which came to an ending. They knew that was ending, and also Battlestar Galactica, which they knew was coming to an end at that time as well. And more recently, I've been watching The Expanse, which they say that this season, which just aired, season 6, is also a final season. So knowing that, they kind of went in and tried to wrap up the ending as best you could, kind of knowing that it was the end. That always helps.
I recently started getting into Farscape again.
Oh yeah, I haven't
love
seen
series.
Yeah, I was into that when it originally aired.
You'll like that space. It's fun.
Yeah, I really.
When
like
is that
Farscape.
made? Is it like 80s or?
Oh God, I'm going to say late 99 or 2000, 2003, something like that.
Oh, okay.
It's fun.
Yeah, like it's got to be 15, 20 years old.
Yeah, that was around the time when I was like, 20 years old. I was out hanging out with my friends and stuff, and there was like, that's why I missed all that TV from that era. I missed all the Battlestar and Farscape and Babylon 5. I missed all the Star Treks and just everything that was going on around that time, unless of course it was like the prequels were announced. I went rabid, for everything prequels, Star Wars, because I was huge on Star Wars, but everything else kind of had to wait till now. Now that I have some more screens that I can work on one screen and watch something on the second screen. It's nice.
Speaking of that, let's see that drawing again. I got to see that blade. Take a picture of the screen.
For sure. Let's get that back.
Oh yeah. I love the. You gotta zoom out a little more. I love the probe droid. Oh my god.
This guy's protecting a crystal cave, so we were either on Ilum or we're on some kind of crystal planet, and he's in charge. Maybe he's ancient, maybe he's been there for 100 years or hundreds of years protecting this cave. And I guess, my idea for the background, I don't know if this comes from Jedi Arms Dealer or something I just made up, but that the Empire or whatever serves as the Empire at that time. So like, let's say Star Wars is a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. This is like a longer time ago. This is like, ancient, where it's an empire of some sort, like maybe in the time of like Revan, let's say, and they hire Mandalorians to come to come in and kind of kick this guy's ass, you know, to take over the cave. So this is kind of the idea of this drawing, is that this is a losing battle for this beast of a Jedi, but he's going to go down fighting. You know, he's going to go down in like a blaze of glory. No matter he wins or doesn't win, he's just going to fight to the end, you know.
I would so hang that in my living room.
Oh, it's going.
Totally.
It's going up on the
I would
wall.
hang that right above here, right above my couch, man. That would sit
So
right
I'm going to
here.
have like, there's a guy back here who's going to be like shooting a flamethrower. You know, we got people like stabbing this guy right here. And we got another group of people coming in back there. Maybe they got like Beskar swords or something. You know, I don't know what those are. As maybe it's so far in the past that they all have Beskar. And, you know, different thing. I'm trying to have a kind of a clue that it's like an old empire or something with these probe droids and stuff. But yeah, I'm going to put a lot more detail on these like attackers, because I got a lot for the Jedi guy, but now the attackers got to get more detail. So
the creature is amazing. The detail on the creature is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
oh, thanks. Yeah, I kind of set this up to be like a poster size. So like we'll print out a copy for Jedi Arms Dealer, be like a nice big print that he could frame or something and hang it up with his, you know, because that's his saber in the guy's hand, his Illumos. In wait, what's the guy's name? Jedi Master. Wait, what's his name? Wampmar. That's it. Jedi Master Wampmar, because he's like a wampa.
Blade looks sick. Wampmar.
I love how he's like stepping on the one dude.
Yeah.
He's like under his feet.
I think the blade's got to be a bit bigger.
Didn't he smash him on a crystal space, and those are all crystal shards? Like
yeah, those are like all
painful death.
So cool.
Death by carbon crystal.
So cool. And
this guy, you know, he uses like.
I still have the picture that
his,
you
like,
made me of my one saber that we built.
Oh yeah, we drew like a cross section, or we drew out
I love it. I love it. Like with all the like little diagrams as to like what all the parts do. Oh, I framed it. Hang it up, man. I love it.
I think I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was amazed watching you do that. You did that, and it was like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. You did the whole thing. Amazing.
This one's taken a little longer. I think I've been working on this for 2 years. But just
2 years?
Just a few minutes here and a few minutes there.
Hey, it's just like waiting for a badass saber. I'm good.
And how far along are you on that one that sat on your drawing board for a long time in your living room? Big picture. I forget. Was that like Marvel stuff?
It was a big Star Wars picture that I drew
Wars,
with pencil and stuff. You know, I think I actually did finish that. That is still. Yeah, it's upstairs, like kind of still attached to that table. Actually, still attached.
I'd love to, every time I come over, I would look at it and see how much further along you got on it. Beautiful, amazing work.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was thinking the same thing. Mars Machine. He says, Grogu in Mithril, chainmail for sure. Sorry, lightsaber group. Yeah, he's apologizing because Mithril is from Lord of the Rings, but I think we all probably love. At least I do. I love Lord of the Rings as well. I actually think Lord of the Rings is like the most superior set of movies I've ever seen. That talk about a story having harmony. What that was well done. That was something special. Absolutely. I still watch those all the time, just as much as I watch Star Wars. I mean, Harris knows when he comes over. Harris, what am I playing every time you come over? I put on Empire Strikes Back or.
There's always something going on. I mean, what do you have? 4 TVs up in the ship there?
up in the spaceship. Yeah, we got a lot of Star Wars movies playing. And, but I will slip in some Lord of the Rings too when no one's looking. I'm watching Lord of the Rings and the extended versions of 4-hour cuts, and believe me,
yeah, you know,
I love Mithril.
The last few times I was over, you had a lot of Trek playing.
Yeah, I was.
You went through the whole Enterprise series.
I watched all of it. I watched everything during the whole pandemic. I started with. I think I started with Enterprise. I think is what I started with, and I loved it so much. I just watched everything. I watched the Next Generation.
I was a big fan of
watched
Enterprise.
Deep
I really
Space
liked it.
Nine. Yeah, it was. It
Loved
had a
Enterprise.
different feeling to it than some of the others.
Yeah,
very, very entertaining.
loved
Very
it. Loved it.
entertaining.
Is that the dilithium crystals I'm seeing over your left shoulder space?
Yes, yes, it
The
is.
blue ones against the wall? Is that what that is? Yeah.
Nice.
I wasn't sure if it was a reflection or there you go. Warp
Yeah, I
drive.
was hoping to have them. I think my mic's in the way of having them super visible, but I wanted them to be. Yeah, they're kind of visible. But you know what? I think when I put on this view, with you guys, I think it cuts off something, and then when it's just me, you could probably see it better. I don't know. Yeah, I want these in view when I do like a podcast because these are cool. And then you could Jedi Arms Dealer made me this. You could actually switch. Where's my favorite effect? But this, I think that this on camera is too bright when I put it on my favorite effect because I like that. Wait, is it? I like fade. But I think fade is almost too bright for the camera. You see that?
Yeah, it washes out.
Whereas if I just put it on a low level blue, then you can see that it's crystals.
Right. Yeah, Barbara designed that 3D base for it for the two pixel wafers in the bottom.
Oh,
so
wow.
When you put it on fade, that's my favorite because it like one side of the crystal like morphs one color and it starts to like offset.
It starts to look like Ilum because you see like blue and green together. And you see like purple and blue together, and like you almost get all the colors of the crystals come through. And if I know Rob mentioned it before that he played KOTOR, and you played KOTOR, you remember that
I love KOTOR.
You go to like Dantooine and you I think you go in the cave there. Is it Dantooine, and you get a crystal, or I forget where you go, but it kind of looks like this. Like they got these crystals in the wall and in the floor, and you walk up and you grab a crystal, and if you want like a purple, you have to go get it. I think that's how it worked. You kind of go up and get that.
That was a long time ago.
Because I haven't played it since like 2003 or 2005, whenever it came out. But I played it like 2 or 3 times, when it was fresh. And
it's $10 for mobile devices right now in the App Store.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so if you want to play it on I imagine you could play it on a newer Mac, but like if you want to play it on iPad, or it would suck on your iPhone. But
I just bought a VR headset, guys. I bought a VR headset.
Oh yeah, Gabe told me, and then he brought over.
We've been playing a lot of stuff together, and I played the first chapter of Vader Immortal. Amazing, short but amazing. It's only like the whole chapter is only 20, 25 minutes. Very cool.
Unreal. Which one did you get?
The Harris? Oculus Quest 2.
The Quest 2. You got the white one? Yeah.
Yeah, the white one.
That's got a little.
To just stand there and have Vader walk up to you, and it's it's in 3D, and I'm looking up. I'm like, there's Vader just towering over me. Just amazing.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
Plug in some of your nicer headphones, and it's a total trip.
I've been using. I have. It's got a Bluetooth function on it, so I hooked my AirPods up to it. I'm an Apple guy, so I had a set of Apple AirPods, and it don't matter because I'm half deaf anyway. But 40 years of playing the drums at warped volume, man, it just killed my hearing. But it's amazing. It's amazing. I'm really digging Beat Saber. I don't know if you guys have ever tried Beat Saber.
Oh yeah.
Oh, amazing. Amazing.
Is that the one where I think I seen the video where like you whip away like laser bolts or something?
Well, you're holding 2 lightsabers and you're in like this futuristic looking 3D room, and these blocks are flying at you, and you got to slice at the blocks in time with the music. So, me being a drummer, it's cool it's like I'm playing the drums almost with the lightsabers. Really cool.
Yep, I've seen that. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
People
The music's
use it
killer.
to exercise.
Oh, it's great. You kidding? I put on COVID, got me 30 pounds heavier. So I'm trying to use it to get a little exercise, get my ass off the couch.
There was a game
That'll
for
work.
PlayStation 2 or 3 where you bought the camera. It might have been PlayStation 3. You bought the camera, you set it up, and you punch, like they show you, and then they show a bunch of brick stacks that are like on the left and right of you, and you turn and you start punching and kicking, and the bricks explode and shit. And then you turn the other way and you destroy the bricks. I mean, it got you sweaty. It was a lot of fun, and you felt like you were beating something up, like you're blowing up bricks.
Yeah, it's a good workout playing with the VR. I try and do like a half hour, 40 minutes, 45 minutes a night on it. It's really cool. And I got a bowling game. The bowling, it's like you're really in a bowling alley. You know,
Gabe said you like the bowling a lot.
Oh, I love it. You can kind of, on the Oculus, you set up like a boundary, and in that boundary you can move around. So like you can kind of like with the bowling, the harder you throw it, the Oculus headset picks that up, and like it'll even tell you like the speed, how fast your throw was. Really cool. Really cool. I love it.
A friend of mine likes to do the fishing game, and so he'll sit there and have some beers.
Yeah,
while he's
fishing. I've seen it. I haven't.
Pass out.
I only bought
like
3 so far. I only bought 3. I bought Beat Saber, Vader Immortal. Had to get Vader Immortal, and then and the bowling game. And now this week, my money's going to lightsabers. This week.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I know,
So
Harris,
you-
you were like, like wondering how to watch the Star Trek shows. Do you have Netflix? Because a lot of them were on the Netflix.
So I do have Netflix. My problem is that, I cut the cable. I don't have cable TV anymore. I just use a Roku box, and I use a high definition antenna over the air, which kind of sucks, but it's for $50, it works. My problem is, I grew up in a time where, I was born in '66, and I grew up as an infant watching Star Trek, and it didn't cost me anything, And then I was in my, I guess my 30s when Next Gen came out. So like and then Enterprise, and I never had to pay for Star Trek, So I don't know. I can't bring myself to have to pay for another subscription. I'm probably going to do it because I'm jonesing to watch Picard. I want to follow up on Picard.
Are you? Do you have Prime? I think some of them are on Prime as well.
So I have Amazon Prime
last year.
because I use an Amazon credit card, and when you pay their fee for like a $50 fee for the year for the Amazon Prime credit card, you get Amazon Prime for free, which is cool because I can also watch in the Oculus. I can.
I think
Amazon
some of the
Prime.
series are on there. I don't know about all of them.
You got to pay per episode. They want to charge you per episode on Prime. It's like $3 or $5 an episode.
That's how it was for
episode.
Battlestar, and I probably could have found it somewhere else, but I already am so, I don't know, hooked on Amazon that I ended up just getting it through there.
Yeah. So I get Amazon for free. I have Netflix and I have Disney. And I don't know. I can't bring myself to pay for another subscription. It's only $5 a month.
Well, I wouldn't get
kill me,
Paramount either. Like I probably wouldn't. I don't know. Like if it was literally monthly and you could watch all your shows and then cancel it rather than paying for like a year or something. But I think like what would Paramount have other than Star Trek? Probably not much that you'd.
Yeah, there's a lot of sports stuff, but I'm not a sports guy. I don't watch football or any of that stuff. So.
I absolutely I'm just thinking about the show still. I absolutely cannot believe that we got so much saber action in the Boba Fett show. What the
it's
hell?
killer.
That is
Killer.
so crazy.
Killer.
I never would have thought to see an episode or a Order 66 scene. I never would have thought to see the dark saber.
Yeah.
Really.
Last week we got a lot of dark saber. This week we got Luke saber. We got Yoda's
Last
saber.
week it was so fucking epic. Like that fight on the skywalk between the armor and Din Djarin was just, that was crazy. Like that was some nice
very cool.
They had sparks, they had everything. Then they had the other guy come up and challenge,
challenge him.
Yeah.
Paz Vizsla. Whatever.
Yeah. I like when he fell off. He fell off the bridge and then the jetpack. You're like, whoa! Hops back up with the jetpack.
Because it kind of looked like they were in a very harrowing situation of like falling out into space, and they're not really wearing like a spacesuit or anything. Like if they fell off those areas, would they end up drifting out into space and kind of?
Yeah. How many deaths are reported every year there? People get misstepping.
Like, you know what else just kind of struck me as strange when I was watching last week's episode was, and I know they've got a code, the Mandalorian's certain code where like war is everything, but isn't it weird that like Din Djarin walks in and it's the armorer and who's the Vizsla guy? He said
Paz Vizsla.
Paz Vizsla's there.
Yeah. He's a descendant of
she goes,
the Vizsla guy that created the Darksaber.
The original Darksaber creator.
Yeah.
But how crazy was it that she tells the Mandalorian when he walks in, she's like, it's only the three of us left, right? It's only the three of us. And then a couple minutes later, the one guy's like, I challenge you. So
he wants to kill him.
Now there's gonna be two.
Yeah, now it's like we're down to two. Like if one of you dies, or like God forbid both of you
and
fall
she was
off
totally okay with it. She's like, all right, go for it.
Yeah, she didn't say a word. She's just like, she like backed up. She was like,
if you remember, before they fought, they both took their jetpacks off.
Yeah.
They set their jetpacks aside. So.
All right.
Yeah, if they would have fallen down.
I'm well aware of the Star Wars and how they have oxygen and they're in a force field. But if they fall down, you're still in space. So
I would think they were in space. Yeah.
It's kind of funny that there's gravity when you're in space.
Yeah. Some kind of repulsors are activated or something, because they handle space a lot differently in Star Wars than in some other properties. Like one of the things I like about the Expanse show is that they treat space as pretty dangerous, pretty realistic. Like if you get spaced out in space, meaning that they throw you out the window, they kind of show you in the Expanse what happens. They also show you what happens when you go very fast and then, like, let's say, stop immediately. There's a scene in season 3 of The Expanse, which is kind of like a tacked on, like added sequence where they show you like a little side story of what happens when like the guy who's trying to break the speed record like stops on a dime out in space.
Or your
like,
organs are gonna get crushed inside.
Yeah, like his skin like flies off him and stuff. It's just disgusting. But in Star Wars, I'm not sure they have all those specific rules about like no oxygen and different things. I mean, we saw Princess Leia go out there and stuff. So I don't know if it's quite the same, but I do think, like you said, Rob, if one of those guys falls like out there and they don't have their rope to like if they missed with their rope or something, and I mean they'd be floating.
Oh yeah.
But maybe they could go get them with the ship, but they'd be, if there was the same space rules as we have, they'd be like compressed and like vacuum sealed and stuff.
But remember, they're not fighting on a ship per se that you can just jump on and go get them. They're on that like Halo
wheel. Yeah.
The
ring. Yeah. So let's just interrupt everybody's progress and go get that one guy who's floating away.
Yeah.
Maybe they have like some kind of Coast Guard that comes out there and saves you or something.
Right.
I remember there was a time in the books when Luke had to spend a bunch of time in an X-Wing, and since he's got force abilities, he was able to like slow his heart rate down and slow his breathing so that he could wait for, I think it was maybe Mara Jade or somebody came to find him. But it was like he was out there for a really long time, like a super extended period where most human beings would die, but because of his abilities. But these guys didn't have those abilities, like Princess Leia, to pull herself back or anything. So yeah, they were going to be drifting if they made a mistake. But I just thought it was a time where they should all be working together. It's like seriously, you want the Darksaber? How about you wait until like there's just a few more Mandalorians to, like, I don't know, man the ship here. Like, we got nobody. Like,
There could be
that
only
armor was just
one.
ready to go it alone, I guess. Because, you know, like there's like those times, it's like in the Superman comic back in the 90s was like he punches Doomsday and Doomsday punches him at the same time, like they both died. If that happened here, it's just her.
She'd be all by
It's
herself.
just- right.
Well, that's what the younglings are for.
The
Or the
foundlings.
foundlings. The foundlings.
Are there foundlings out there still besides
There's
Grogu?
got to be foundlings. Well, Grogu's a
Gotta be,
foundling.
right? Yeah.
Well, that would suck. Then she couldn't even use the Darksaber because she didn't win it in battle if the two of them killed each other.
Yeah,
that's
that's true. I wonder what would happen if that thing would be like, you know, because I was just thinking like of the Darksaber like rolling in space, like would it ever be found? But do you remember the original idea for like The Force Awakens was that like the trailer was going to be the hand and the Graflex like rolling through space. I don't know.
Frozen.
Yeah. It's going to be exciting to see. You know, I that's the one cool thing about experiencing this scenario, which is like a brand new scenario of watching one show and getting another. Never experienced that in my life, but to see what's going to happen next time, next week, or what realm are we going to start off in? Maybe we're going to start off with the Mandalorian. He's going to come back to Boba Fett, and then we're going to kick off the battle. I'm assuming that's how it's going to be. I don't expect to see Grogu again, but that was a weird place to leave off with that cliffhanger for sure.
I said the same thing about the previous episode when they showed Mando and the whole episode was about him and him, you know, kind of talking about Grogu. I was like, there's no way they're going to show that them reuniting in Book of Boba, and look what they didn't reunite, but we saw them.
I thought we'd have to wait till December. I really did. I was like, okay, well that, you know, we'll see what happens. And I also thought to myself that would have been a decent thing to do, considering, you know, he's got this gift to give Grogu and it's wrapped up and even the wrapping looks a little Grogu-like. And that it wouldn't be that big a deal, for instance, to have this episode 5 of Boba Fett be slightly throwaway for Mandalorian viewers, meaning you don't really have to see that if you get the next scene of Mando handing Grogu a gift and it's this chainmail, you don't really have to know where it came from, right? That audience could put 2 and 2 together, like, oh, he's got a gift, maybe it's Beskar, whatever. Maybe he mentions that, gives it. I fully did not expect to see us roll right into the gift giving right now. You know, it's like, all right, you know, a pleasant surprise. But I didn't think that was something necessary for the Mando audience to know. Therefore, it's like fine if you give him that gift at some point during the Mandalorian season, almost like an Easter egg for people that watch Boba Fett. It's like, oh, I know where that came from. You know, I know how that was made.
That would have been much better executed that way.
Yeah, I think that's more so how stories unfold. Like, you know, someone mentioned earlier about like that's how they would do the Arrowverse for DC. You know, on I think it was it on CW. So you'd have Arrow, and he crosses over with the Flash, and you kind of have like, let's say you see the Flash in the Arrow episode because he like runs into to help or something, and then when you see the Flash episode, you get the info on how he got to understand that the Arrow needed help or whatever. So it's kind of goes in a chronological order, switching between the different host shows, the different host episodes. Whereas here it's kind of an audience surprise of like what we're going to get.
Yep, definitely a lot of Easter eggs thrown in there.
Yeah.
How about Luke? Does he use Form 5 when he was in the bamboo and he was just going through the saber motions and stuff when Grogu was watching him? I thought that was pretty cool.
That would be cool to kind of look at those again and kind of break them down. That was one of the things I was going to say when I started, but I forgot to say it. I think was that I've seen these episodes, but I've only seen them once each. So I didn't like for Mandalorian. I went and watched them all a second time and stuff, maybe even a third time. For these, I kind of started talking to you guys where I've only seen the episodes once. So sometimes when I go back and I watch it a second time, I might notice different things. Or, yeah, these are kind of, I guess you could say, first impressions of watching the episode once and just trying to put the pieces together, even without having seen the final 7th episode. So, maybe certain things that I'm like, yeah, but maybe those questions are going to be answered in the 7th. But these shows have a kind of a knack for leaving certain things like unanswered. And to me, like if I had to equate the Boba Fett show to one of the Disney superhero shows, I would kind of say this one is along the lines of WandaVision. Like probably this is why I see it that way, is like I see it as sort of a side story that for whatever reason, I guess for lack of content across the board, for a big Star Wars movie, let's say we're absent a big Star Wars movie, we're absent a bigger show starring more main characters. So we're kind of, for lack of a better word, we're stuck with the side character, but it's the only thing we have right now. So that's why I kind of see it as like WandaVision. Whereas at the time, WandaVision comes out, it's supposed to be this kind of side character. Like, let's give you a couple clues. Let's give you some Easter eggs. Let's have some fun here and do a side story. Not really running down the middle of the Marvel universe. But what actually happened was everybody's watching like for something big to happen because it's literally the one and only thing going at the time. So that's kind of how I see Boba Fett. It's like, yeah, maybe it's not supposed to be the center of the Star Wars universe, but everyone's eyes are on it right now because that's what we have. And like Harris said earlier, we're not going to see a Mandalorian show start till like December.
Yeah, that's what
I don't know what between now and December if we're going to get stuff. Basically, this is like what we have. So what we're to be given like the main story in what we thought was a side story. It's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting way to do it.
Agreed. Any new news on when Obi-Wan's supposed to drop?
I haven't heard anything yet.
I haven't.
Me either.
Is that supposed to be 2022?
I would think so, since they're not talking about it yet this year.
Yeah, I don't know.
I see what you're saying, Sir. I don't know.
Yeah, because I don't know where I would hear it from though. If it was coming out this year, like I guess there would be a trailer already. Well, it says on Wikipedia, it says Obi-Wan Kenobi is scheduled to be released in 2022 and will consist of 6 episodes. So perhaps this is going to be something we are going to get before The Mandalorian.
Summer.
Which, thinking about what we could get in Obi-Wan, having this have happened in Boba Fett means we could literally get anything in Obi-Wan. We could literally get anything. Like we could.
Do you see anything tying in with Obi-Wan? Just because of the timelines, I really don't see much aside from Ahsoka.
Well, there's one thing that could happen. Now they've been taking a lot of stuff from the comics and books and stuff, even though they said they weren't. They said that stuff was dead, but it's not to them because, like as you guys know, if you played KOTOR, the whole Crate Dragon Mandalorian storyline where they took the pearl and everything was just taken straight. It was basically what you do in the video game as Revan in KOTOR is is you retrieve a crate dragon crystal by being one of the first people to kind of kill a crate dragon. And they kind of took that storyline and moved it over to the Mandalorian. One of the other things that happened in the comics was Boba Fett actually was like, what did he do? I think he comes over to I think he's looking for Obi-Wan, or maybe he's working for Maul. I forget how it happens, but he's either in the Tatooine hut, Luke's hut, kind of snooping around, or he's in Obi-Wan's hut. I forget which place he's at. So if they're lifting stuff from the comics, one of the things they could do is kind of have Boba Fett show up. I mean, he's on Tatooine, Obi-Wan's on Tatooine, and
now
you're
saying
be what,
Boba?
Like, teenager?
Boba would have been a kid though, wouldn't he?
He would have been a teenager, I guess. He would have already been on his own. He hates the Jedi. He's got Slave One, and he's got his dad's armor, I think, is the deal, right? So he's like in episode 2, he's got his dad's helmet because I guess his head. He sees his dad was killed by Mace Windu, and I think we have to assume there that he takes off with the Slave One and stuff like that. So in the time of Obi-Wan hanging out alone on Tatooine, Boba Fett is probably like 17 years old, like a perfect age to come and cause trouble.
Isn't there a comic book or cartoon where Obi-Wan was disguised as some other guy, and Cad Bane and Boba was a kid. They were all kind of imprisoned or something like that, and they were, I guess, Cad Bane was sent on a mission to kill Palpatine, but Palpatine obviously knew about it or found out about it and had them imprisoned or something to that effect. And then they were both kind of like all like playing these double agents, for lack of better words. But I know that Obi-Wan was disguised as somebody else, and you know, Cad Bane was working with them, and then they like found out, and they like went into a fight. And I know Cad Bane had was known for being the second best bounty hunter, but when Django died, he became the best hunter, the best bounty hunter. It's something to that effect. But I do know that there is a timeline that exists out there where all three of them were in it together.
Yeah. So I think there could be, like, especially, you know, you mentioned Cad Bane. It could be anybody. It could be, you know, Darth Maul could show up. Cad Bane could show up. Any number of people from the Clone Wars could probably end up being there. But what I hope happens is that, like, none of that happens. I hope they really show, like, the boredom for a little while at least, or try to show like time passing where nothing's happening, and then maybe some stuff goes down. But I do think a lot of time that was spent on Tatooine for Obi-Wan was probably boring, I would imagine. You know, Yoda did say, I have training for you. You're going to do training, and you're going to try to talk to Qui-Gon and stuff. But I don't know. Like, I think he's supposed to be exiled as well. That's part of it, right? He's supposed to be exiled.
Yeah, hiding.
It's not supposed to be exciting and stuff. So that's why doing that show is a challenge, I think. Like, that's a challenge to make that work. Because I don't know.
If they do the Obi-Wan show, that they're going to show the live action fight between him and Maul, that would be cool, right?
Yeah, I would love to see that.
I like that. That was seemed to be the most realistic, like, lightsaber fight I ever saw, because it's more like a samurai fight. You know, it's like one hit. That's kind of how a sword fight
usually should go, right?
Yeah. Maybe, yeah. Like, especially like a samurai style fight, it's kind of like, yeah, they pass each other. Like, I've read that book. I think it's called the Book of the Five Rings, and it's about like an expert sword fighter. Japanese sword fighter, and who survived like 42 sword fights. And he explains like that's kind of how sword fights go. It's kind of like, they make like one swipe, and it's like you're either
If
the
you get hit,
master or you're dead.
done. Yep.
Yeah. That's how I
I'd
saw
love to
that.
see how they do Maul's legs with CGI. That would be pretty sick.
Maybe he had different attachments, like the spider set and the human set, or the back knee set, like with reverse back knee for
They could have
jumping
some
and shit.
fun
I
with
don't
that.
know.
That would be sweet.
Yeah, I don't know. That's when you have Maul alive, it kind of illustrates that, like, it's really hard to die in Star Wars, I guess. It's like Maul's alive, Boba Fett's alive. They try to say Palpatine's alive for the new movies. That's a lot of people that are alive. Say again?
Solo didn't survive.
No. He didn't
So
survive.
speaking of Maul, what do you think of the implication that with the Pikes and Spice running, that Kira might pop up?
That could happen.
Because she does have ties to the Pikes and the Spice running and Maul, and she is working with them. So it'd be interesting to see her kind of be behind the scenes, and Boba having to deal with that as well.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys think there's any chance whatsoever that is there any chance whatsoever that we see Boba Fett die?
We got to get another season out of him, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I don't know if that'll happen just because of how this one is going. Like,
but keep in mind, Luke died, and we still got Luke. So.
They did him dirty, but Luke's like a main character. He was a hero.
Yeah.
After episode 5 came out, I was kind of feeling sorry for the actor that plays Boba Fett, because I was just like, like the Mandalorian episode was totally
sidelined him.
And like he's gonna see those reviews per episode, and he's gonna be like, "Damn,
I'm not in it. It's the best one."
Right. Ouch.
Yeah, but he did publicly say that he didn't want to talk. He wanted to stay mysterious, and they literally gave him that. They take him out.
Yeah, you know what? Like that, I think that would have made sense to me, because when you have the Mandalorian, you have Din Djarin, he doesn't take the helmet off, but he talks quite a lot. With Boba, that would have been interesting if you take the helmet off, but he doesn't really talk. So that's like the sort of difference between those two characters, or it could have been if they went in that direction. I could almost see the Boba Fett as like a one-off thing, but maybe not, since they kind of hijacked 2 episodes of the 7 though, and he's not even in them. So yeah, maybe I could see that they might want to bring that back for another season. But if it was like full 7 episodes of like a complete Boba Fett story, I think they could have just left it there, but it does seem like by doing this, rather than a crossover, doing this Mandalorian takeover, it does seem like they are mixing and matching characters in a different way than I would have predicted at the start. So it's kind of hard to say.
Well, look at it this way. Look at I'm not gonna say all the criticism, but it's gotten a lot of criticism in comparison to like Mando and whatever other shows we've received. I think this is like the one that's gotten a lot of like, what the fuck is going on here? You know what I mean? So if they're seeing that, and I'm sure that they are, that's the only reason why I say I don't think he's gonna get another episode or another season. I could be wrong, which is fine, but just because of how it's unfolded, I just really don't see it.
It just
although it's weird, it's exciting to see. Yeah. What we've been seeing, like to see Luke is just such a freaking surprise. Like to see Grogu, see the Mandalorian as much as we have been, that is such a surprise. And it's just like I'm almost in shock still of seeing that, because I mean, there's just been a lot of clues. You got like episode 8 where Luke dies. You got episode 9. He's not really in it. You got the actor Mark Hamill saying he's never going to play Luke again. So you just have a lot of clues. It's just was weird, but a great surprise, and a lot of that is happening in the show, that it's just making it quite exciting to be like a Star Wars fan, to see all that stuff. Where we are getting to see the side story of Boba Fett. It was very satisfying to see in the first episode like how he got out of the Sarlacc pit. Even though that some of that was like in the comics as well, that he like flew out of the, I think, rather than the way he got out in the show was cool. They showed it. That was nice. We saw the flashbacks incorporating a lot of callbacks and technology, like the back to tank, the Rancor. He gets given a Rancor. We see Danny Trejo. Like, we still don't know if the Rancor is a legit gift. I think it is. I think it was a legit gift, but was it? Because it was given by these sloths, by those Hutts, and it's been pointed out that they never do anything like gracious. So I don't know. Like, could that be a problem?
Yeah,
there's a lot of
try to eat them.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. They're double crossing them. Agreed.
Hey guys, it's past my bedtime. I got to bail. I'm fighting to get my eyes open.
Yeah.
Thanks for discussing Boba Fett. We're going to get off in a minute.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you for having me. It was great talking to you guys, and I'm looking forward to the next one. I get up at 5 a.m.
Oh, all right. Well, have a good day tomorrow, and I hope you get a good sleep.
Love you guys. Everybody stay well.
You
Love
too, Harris.
Good
care.
luck.
Be
Peace,
good.
Harris.
I'm out.
Great seeing you.
Later.
Rich Sangilla says, my guess is Super Bowl trailer for a May 4th release for Obi-Wan.
Okay.
Super Bowl
That'd be
trailer.
cool.
Okay, yeah. I mean, so we're like a couple days away from a possible trailer then. And 4th is that far away. That would put it right smack in the middle of Boba Fett and Mandalorian, so that would make sense. Mundo says big possibility.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So I mean, I think unless you guys have anything else you want to add about Boba Fett or about Mando, we could end this. And I think we kind of said, or at least I said, everything that I think I wanted to say about it.
Yep. I give you guys my thoughts. It was good chat, good discussion.
Yeah, absolutely. This was fun as heck.
Do you guys want to come back and talk about the 7th episode next week?
Yeah, I can do that.
Sure.
Like, what time are you guys in the habit of watching? Are you guys watching on Wednesdays in the morning or Wednesdays in the afternoon? Like, what are you doing to watch?
I watch it first thing in the morning.
Nice. Yeah, I know there's a couple Saber friends I've got that do a podcast after the episode on really I guess it's Wednesday early morning because they watch really late on Tuesday night. I think Kyber Phonic is on there. Maybe Darth Revan's Nest is on there. A couple people talk about, and I haven't been able to watch them yet because they do it at about 2:30 in the morning after they watch the episode on Tuesday, Wednesday early morning, and I haven't been able to watch them. But I was thinking, for me, a good time is like we did tonight, like, maybe 10 o'clock on Wednesday. If you guys want to talk about it, talk about episode 7, we could see where that goes. Like, it could be some crazy surprises because this is not going the way I thought.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm in. I'm totally in for it. I can join you guys next Wednesday, same time.
Awesome.
Same.
And I never thought, like I said before, I never thought we were going to have a saber, having like a legit discussion about sabers in relation to what was on the show. That is crazy. And I mean, we might uncover some more stuff from this episode when we watch it again, because there was a lot of Jedi action, that unexpected Jedi action in this episode.
I'm going to watch it again tonight right before I pass out.
Nice. And the music was good too. And I don't always like pick up on the music, but I thought that it was had some cues from, it had like some Force theme cues and stuff, which was pretty nice. Getting to see Luke a lot.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so I'll see you guys next Wednesday then.
Awesome. Thanks for
Sounds
doing
great.
this.
Yeah,
Just
great
before
hanging
we
with you,
go,
Robert.
M. Ryder says, got a feeling Cad Bane will take the Darksaber from Din for a
Ooh.
setup for a Mando season 3. Huh, that would be something.
Yep.
That would bring him in as more of a main character, I think.
I thought they did a cool job with Cad Bane, like the way he looked, and it was like his mouth.
That
moved.
was sick. They've been doing a great job with that. Like him and the Wookiee, like we spoke of earlier, the Wookiee looked just great. The Wookiee looked great. And the Twi'leks are looking good.
I'm going to drop off because my battery's blinking. It's going to die on me on my camera.
All right, Rob, thanks so much.
Hey, guys, have a good one. May the Force be with you, and I'll see you next week.
May the Force be with you. Absolutely.
All right, everybody in the chat, thank you for joining us tonight. I hope you had fun. I hope you come back next week and watch the episode before joining us at 10 p.m. on Wednesday, and we will talk about what we see in that episode, which, I mean, it could be nutty. It could be something we never expected. It could be a Luke Skywalker. It could be anybody. It could be Grogu. Oh, look, I just spoke of Darth Revan's Nerd Nest. He just came in to say hello. What is going on? Darth Revans, I was just explaining how I haven't seen, I think you're on that show, but I haven't seen it, the one you guys do really late night on Tuesday night after you guys watch Boba Fett. And I was just saying how I want to watch those too, because they're on a little too late for me lately. I wish I was on like a schedule where I could stay up all night, and that would be sick. But unfortunately, I got a full-time job I have to wake up for, so that's hard to do at like 2:30. But I understand why they do it, because it's freaking awesome, and I would be absolutely bugging out when I watch that for the first time to see Luke and everything. But I don't know if I'd be able to talk about it so late though. Like I would watch it and I'd just be like, I don't know what to say. Harris had an awesome time. Thanks for having me. Have a great night, Harris. And Darth Revan says, have a great night. Well, you do the same. And everybody, Mundo and Felicia and Rich and everybody that was in the chat, thanks for being here. We'll see you next time. Jedi Arms Dealer, love your thermal detonator prop. That was sick. That looks so legit. Like when you were holding that, it looked like the one Leia had.
He weathered it to the T. Don's a master at that kind of stuff. It's unreal.
That's something special.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, we will continue your drawing a little more. I didn't get as much done as I wanted. I was kind of blabbing a lot.
That's fine. That's what we came to do. We accomplished it.
But anybody that wants to check out more drawings of mine, you could go check out Albatross Junction. It's on Indiegogo. It's my latest comic book. This is volume 1, which includes actually issues 1 and 2 of Albatross Junction. It's like a story based about like 1,000 years into the future. And it's got some cool tech in it. It's got some space travel. It's got a couple little things that are kind of like Star Wars a little bit, but we're more like Earth based over here. So go check out Albatross Junction, and we're going to be closing down this campaign on Indiegogo pretty soon. So if you want to get your hands on the book, we sign all the books before we send them out. So check that out. And maybe next week we're doing the discussion. I'll draw some more this drawing that I was looking at tonight. Have a lot of fun with this. I really can't wait to get to like the fire and the special effects I want to do that these Mandalorians are shooting at the Jedi in this picture. Because I love, what I love doing, all the reflections, and everyone here is like got like a metal suit on, So all the reflection, if like someone's shooting fire, you'll see like the reflection, the lightsaber, you see like the reflection on people. So that's what I'm gonna have like a lot of fun. And he's in a crystal cave, so all the reflectors and stuff,
shimmering crystals. Yeah.
That's really my thing.
Well, we finished the most important part tonight, the blade.
The saber, yeah. Well, it's
The
still
blade
not totally
looks so
done. I
good.
usually go back. I put in some more like effects and stuff when it
Nice.
gets towards the end. I usually have like a layer on the end of the drawing that's just like all the highlights and all the special effects.
I just love it. It's activated now. It looks so sick.
Yeah. It's gonna make a cool poster.
Absolutely. I can't wait. Cool, man.
All right.
All right,
Well,
Space.
you have a good night, and
You too,
I'll
my
talk
friend.
to you soon. Thanks
Next
again
week.
for doing this.
Yeah,
Saber
man.
display
Anytime.
looks awesome.
Thanks. I got to change it to red. Then it'll be totally Cylon or Kit.
Yeah. If it was
There you
red,
go.
it'd be like a Cylon.
Yeah.
Like a Cylon for sure.
Yep. All right, guys. I'm gonna head
All right.
out.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night. Later. May the force be with you.
Force will be with you.